Good morning, folks. Welcome to another Golden VCR on this snowy Saturday morning. Ready to chill? Hi, yeah, it's new. It indeed's new. We got snow yesterday, and now it's all melting because it's the South. Did you know? Know? What's to know? New, right? If you blow, in the past you blew. If you grow, in the past you grew. If it snows, in the past it's new. That is legit grammatically correct Middle English, and it's still around in some dialects. So I say we bring it back. It's new last night. Hi everybody. Given that it's all wet and cold outside my window, I figured we'd do something. Try and find something cozy to do today in our VCR. Let's see. Which I put the cover back on so that it wouldn't get dust in the heads, which I think is a good call. But I haven't screwed the case back on yet. Because who knows, maybe it'll break. So I guess we could start today with Animals Are People Too, hosted by Alan Thicke. Unless there are other opinions. If you guys have anything you want to see that's been added to the website so far, feel free to nominate stuff. Oh my God. Oh, the egg looks so beautiful. Okay, they brought me a bowl. It's got egg and rice and cabbage. Give me steam. Give me steam. Thank you, everybody. We have a hype train. How about that? We had a 14-month resub from Zelda Master 702. It can't have been 14 months. We just watched God's Property for the first time last stream, right? Yeah. And also 12 months from Hugplex. Good morning. It's cold. I'm snowed in. Wow. Yeah, we don't want to go outside because the roads are a little slushy. And we don't want to... It's a little dicey to deal with, slushy conditions in a place where people aren't used to driving in those. But we're not technically snowed in, so I hope you're keeping warm. The grocery stores are all closed yesterday at 7 p.m. when there was a beautiful little dusting of snow on the ground. All the Midwestern in-laws were like, okay, fine. Let me show you what real snow looks like. And I'm like, I know. It's different here. Animals are people too, though. Let's check that out. Animals. Ambinals. Alan Thicke introduces 13 more stories in this fascinating, entertaining, one-of-a-kind series. This, on the case, it says Volume 2, but on the tape, it says Volume 4. So this is Volume 4. And this tape was sent in by West Coast Deb. Ooh, I am so excited to dig into this bowl. You have no idea. Meet Danny, a dog that survived cancer and is now comforting young cancer patients. Visit Cheetah the Chimp, Tarzan's favorite co-star, 66 years old and retired in Palm Springs with a career in art. Actually, this is not the stuff we're going to see on this tape because it's a different volume. Anyway, it's hosted by Alan Thicke, as seen on PAX TV. which I just had to Google. Oh, it was like a TV channel. I vaguely remember PAX TV. It was, think like the WB or whatever the other one was, UPN, like that. I think it was that kind of like low budget daytime cable media outlet kind of channel that featured such programs as Animals Are People Too, hosted by Alan Thicke. Without further ado, let's check that out. Oh God. Oh no. The VCR does not want to accept this tape, so it may be cursed. Let's see if it will accept any tape. This could be a very... Oh. Well. Maybe. Oh, wait. Duh. All right, it's not on. I had it unplugged because of the maintenance. So I was not. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. All right. Love you too. Let's just get on down here and squiggle this plug into the socket. Oh, I hear noises. We get signal. Main screen turn on. We are ready for Alan Thicke. Yeah, Alan Thicke is
And now, the best friend in animal.
Alan Thicke. I remember his son Robin Thicke doing that song about like how consent isn't actually real. But I think Alan Thicke was a pretty cool dude. I'm not gonna Google it, but okay. We finally made it to the beginning of this tape. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Let's check it out. Animals Are People Too. Oh my God, what a delicious bowl. You know what? Pickled plum in a warm bowl of rice. Pretty great. I gotta hand it to Haley. Let's see. I need this logo.
Man's best friends are the animals. Treat them nice and they'll be nice to you.
There's this theme song to this. I'm sorry, I have to just... I can already tell.
Man's best friends are the animals. Treat them nice and they'll be nice to you. Try to keep in mind that they're just like humankind. Animals are people too. What's more fun than an animal acting silly just like people do? Animals are people too.
So I think the concept of this show is
Animals are people too.
it's America's Funniest Home Videos, but
And
with
now,
dogs,
the best
and it's hosted
friend
by
an
Alan
animal
Thicke.
Ever had Alan Thicke.
Hi, everybody. Hello, I'm Alan Thicke. This is my good buddy Max, and we want to welcome you to Animals Are People Too. You know, everybody wants to be loved. The need to be accepted and appreciated is universal. And it isn't just limited to people.
This is
Animals
great.
want love, and they give the same love as we do, whether they've got feathers or
Is
fur,
Alan Thicke really the
scales
best
or
friend an
skin,
animal
wings
has
or
ever
webbed
had?
feet. When it comes to friendship, every animal is true blue. Our first story is about a pint-sized pup who
Aw,
takes the
thank you.
blues pretty seriously. And believe me, when this dog starts singing, he's a real howl.
We got some good theme songs to review. Thank you, Sammer.
Chicago, the Windy City, capital of the blues and jazz, and home to Mr. Belvedere.
Come on.
A 7-year-old pug chihuahua.
There we go.
But Belvy is no ordinary mutt. In the tradition of blues greats such as Willie Dixon and Muddy Waters, Mr. Belvedere can belt out the blues like no other dog in Chicago can. Jim Saunders, that's Mr. Belvedere's human next of kin, acquired him from a friend 5 years ago. The two bonded quickly.
Oh, I thought he was adorable. He had such a personality, it was unbelievable.
As you can imagine, the discovery of these sweet-sounding tones was completely accidental.
Well, I got my grandchild a harmonica for Christmas, and he was walking around the house blowing on it, and Belvedere started following him around trying to sing.
And get this, Mr. Belvedere even follows the music.
I found out by switching notes on the harmonica that he would switch in pitch in his voice. Sort of go along with the notes.
From the beginning, these two melody makers have been inseparable, with only one exception, when a heart attack forced James to be hospitalized.
He wasn't eating or he wasn't drinking, and the only way my wife could get him to eat, and that's if I would call him on the phone and talk to him.
Now that James is healthy, this harmonious hound can concentrate on his singing career.
Let's bring up our first contestant. It's Mr. Belvedere.
When the Advantage Talent Search for North America's Best Singing Pet came to town, Mr. Belvedere won and was flown to New York City to compete with the other finalists for the national title. Mr. Belvedere placed second in New York, but was by far the crowd favorite. And the mayor of New York requested specially that the bluesy Mr. B make an official visit for a photo op and a private jam session. He also made a friend. Phoebe, with whom he felt the need to share the craft and trade a few licks, musical ones, that is.
Well, it makes me really proud that he's on the shows and that he has the talent that he has. And I'm also proud that I'm the one that owns him and that he loves me so much. Yeah, and he loves you too. Yes, he does.
So let us cheer our champion, Bug-Eyed Belvedere, for his soulful singing and for being his master's best friend.
Second best friend. My wife's my best friend. He's my second best friend.
Mr. Belvedere shows that, like friendship, the love of music is universal, even among animals. When it comes to animals who sing, you can't get any bigger than the stars of our next story. And these guys are so smart, they can do more than carry a tune, they can carry on a conversation.
These thrilling sea mammals, the largest in the world, perform complicated maneuvers like this one every day. Known as killer whales, they're so intelligent they can be trained in precision choreography, and so gentle that kids can safely pet them.
Oh, you found the spot. Look at that.
But what the public sees at SeaWorld in San Diego, California is only part of the fascinating story behind these extraordinary animals whose life expectancy can exceed 50 years. Trainer Kristen Smith and Associate Curator Jeff Andrews appreciate the impressive mental abilities of killer whales and love working with them.
They're very social animals, killer whales are, and because they are social, they're very creative animals and curious animals. So they're interacting with themselves and their environment.
Kristen's been working with 7-year-old Takara for 5 years, and they've developed a close friendship.
Takara is a lot of fun. She is probably one of my favorite animals here. She loves to play. She truly enjoys spending time with the trainers.
Each day, Kristen inspects Takara's mouth to make sure everything is healthy and smooth. Because she's able to understand what Kristen has to do, Takara makes the daily tooth and tongue exam easy.
Everything's good.
Kristen communicates with Takara using body language and hand signals. But what about more complicated commands? What if the killer whales can be taught to understand language? That's what Kristen and Jeff are attempting to discover with 11-year-old Orchid.
Not only does she learn typical behavior very easily, but she also has grasped this new concept we're trying to teach her that involves a tone system. We're trying to determine whether or not killer whales have the ability to understand language as we do.
They've designed a system which sends sound signals to Orchid she's been trained to identify.
They have to listen to the whole tone to know what to do. We're gonna run through some behaviors. You're gonna hear that tone played. You're gonna see the whale listen to that tone and then take off to do the behavior. Now we'll see if she does it right. I'm just gonna ask for a bow. Perfect. You heard that whistle blown, which communicates to Orchid that she did the correct behavior.
Orchid's smart. She gets it right nearly 100% of the time.
A slide out. She'll swim across the pool. All right. Here's a raspberry. She did that correctly.
There's more involved here than meets the eye.
Here's a squirt. Squirt some water. As you can see, she's thinking about these tones, she's hearing them, and then she responds to that tone behavior.
Kristen and Jeff want to stretch Orchid's mental abilities even farther, and they think they can do it.
We would like to attempt to see if we can teach them a new language, one that we know what it means, as well as teaching them what it means.
While Jeff and Kristen work to develop the language of Orchid and Takara, they also realize that learning has to be a joyful experience.
Are you guys having fun? Yeah?
I feel like I'm the luckiest person on earth to be able to interact with and swim with these animals every day.
We can understand how Kristen feels about these intelligent creatures of the sea, and the hope is that one day, two of Earth's smartest animals, humans and whales, will share the goal of communicating through a common language.
Animal lovers will do just about anything to help their pets. That is certainly true in this next story about a young donkey who suffered a misfortune early in life. And lucky for her, she had a human friend who was determined to get this burro back on her feet.
Hey, Primrose.
Primrose may be the world's bravest donkey. When she was just a baby, she lost her hind leg. Although vets thought she should have been put down, Primrose never gave up.
Oh, no,
and neither did her
sad
best friend,
donkey
mountain man Bill Lee.
She can make it on
After
her own.
they cleaned her up and got her on IVs.
Is that a,
the first
I'm
few
assuming
hours
that's a
after
Kiss
she was
That Frog
attacked,
request.
She still was bright and alert and appeared healthy. And all along, she seemed to have the spirit to live, so I thought we should give her a chance.
Bill hoped that modern technology could do for a donkey what it can do for people. After all, if we humans lose a limb, prosthetic devices can put us back on our feet again. But until recently, artificial limbs for animals were rare. Luckily, we have prosthetic technologists like Teresa and Carl Conrath, who are determined to adapt their knowledge of human artificial limbs to the special needs of animals.
And why not do it for animals? We do it for people. And our animals are just like our kids.
She's rocking, Sasha, girl.
Teresa and Carl became experts at building artificial limbs for dogs. Sasha lost her foot in a coyote trap, but today she's a running, happy husky once again. But could they translate that success to big animals like Primrose?
There's no guidelines because nobody's done it, so we've had to design as we go.
Come on, babe.
Baby Primrose posed the ultimate technical challenge: how to design an artificial limb for a rapidly growing large animal. The answer? Design a series of limbs to match Primrose's constant increases in height and weight as she continued to grow. The artificial limb had to be comfortable, plus sturdy enough to support up to 500 pounds.
This is the first leg. This one's quite a bit smaller. Same construction, but this one is bigger. You can see the difference. And so we've made this so that it's adjustable. We needed something that was gonna hold up to her. So this is carbon braid and acrylic resin. They use this in the spacecraft and aircraft repairs. You can't get much stronger than that.
Today's very special. Primrose is being fitted for her final limb since she's only 1 inch shy of her maximum height.
Right now we're gonna go in and do a little modification. Still got motion, good to go.
A perfect fit is crucial. Her leg muscles must align exactly.
We just got to get these inside muscles strengthened on her.
I think she knows we're trying to help her. You know, we anticipate she's going to do fine. We're going to see how she walks around with it. That's exactly what we're hoping for. She'll be able to control it more, and she should be able to run and play on it just like she did the old one.
Eureka! This bionic burrows hit pay dirt. The fit's great, and Primrose is just raring to step out.
Woohoo!
With each and every brave new step she takes, Primrose is finally headed toward a rosy future.
Come on, we'll go visit all the others and they can see your new leg.
Primrose's rehabilitation is a great example of how modern technology and the love for animals can work together to help an animal in need. You know, they say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Our next story is about a man whose pet passion is as cold-blooded as they come. Now, what could make this average iguana more happy than having a companion who loves lizards as if he were one of them? How about a nice house and a yard where you get the run of the place? And then include a few fellow lizards to play with. Actually, more than a few. And where is this paradise for lounging lizards? At the Los Angeles residence of none other than, well, let him tell you.
My name is Henry Lizard Lover.
That's right, he even had his name legally changed.
It all started when I just wanted some kind of a pet that was different from a cat or a dog. I thought it'd be nice to have a lizard as a pet, just one lizard. And after I had that one lizard, I could see all kinds of character and personality and intelligence.
Soon, one lizard grew to 30, and they came in all shapes and sizes.
This is a big male iguana. His name is Jesus. The tree skinks go in these drawers during the day, and they feel safe and comfortable. These are 4 young, healthy water dragons. They're just like people. I feel like I have people in these rooms that the lizards are hanging out in.
But they haven't turned into boring homebodies. No, these reptiles like to get out and meet and greet.
Daphne is a great guy. He's my bro. I can take him with me to the movies, to the restaurants, and I meet a lot of girls this way. Look at that face. And oh, the tongue is like a cat's tongue. Yeah, kiss him. Kiss him. Go ahead, kiss him.
Henry takes his reptile buddies with him everywhere. They love to ride in the car, and the dashboard is a great place to soak up some rays.
Lizards don't have fur. They don't wag their tail. They're just funny-looking little creatures. Look at this guy. He's funny, and he just sits there.
Since lizards are cold-blooded, they spend a lot of time sitting still, especially if they're comfortable. So Henry soon realized they could be the perfect photographer's model. He decided to create a line of fantasy postcards and greeting cards that would portray his green posers as the lovable creatures he knows them to be.
Selma, you are looking so beautiful today.
And according to Henry, they love it.
When I'm taking pictures of the lizards and they're posing, they are free to get up and move away anytime. They're not stuck. If the lizards didn't like it, they would get up and run.
Oh, good.
Henry and his lizards enjoy their work, but mostly they all just like hanging out together, eating some beans, maybe even watching a little TV. Hey, life is good being a lizard.
We all know that dogs have a keen sense of smell, but can you imagine having your very life depend on their ability to sniff you out? For skiers caught in an avalanche, the 2 canine rescuers you're about to meet are nothing less than guardian angels.
The avalanche, one of the most destructive forces in nature. It can strike without warning, burying everything in its path. Meet Austin Powder, a golden retriever, and Lily, an Australian cattle dog. Here at Squaw Valley Resort in Northern California, these ace snowbusters are members of the Ski Patrol, specially trained in avalanche search and rescue techniques.
Get it, Austin. Go on, get it.
Austin's human partner, Craig Noble, is the resort's avalanche dog training coordinator.
Austin's been on the hill for 6 years, his whole life. An avalanche dog, they have to have desire, drive, and have a lot of energy.
Oh, good boy. Lily's partner is Matt Kolka.
Let's go, girl.
Like all avalanche rescue dogs, Lily had to train for 2 years to be fully certified.
You start them real young in this kind of line of work. You want to just start real simple where you run away from them and hide. Then you say the word search to them. Search!
As the training progresses, the dogs learn to find increasingly larger objects in the snow, from gloves
Oh, that's a good dog. That's a good girl. That's a good boy.
to backpacks.
Oh, good boy. Oh, good boy.
But in the end, it's live humans that they must find. To keep Austin and Lily sharp at search and rescue techniques, they go out on mock missions several times a week. A typical training day begins with this dynamic duo gearing up inside the locker room.
What's this, buddy?
First, it's the special uniform to distinguish them on the mountain as a search dog.
Come here.
Then a transceiver is put on to help find them in case of an avalanche.
Put your mice on here.
Now it's time to head for the slopes. Austin and Lily get onto the chairlift more confidently than many weekend skiers. They enjoy the incredible view from 50 feet above the ground. Once on top of the mountain, Austin and Lily head directly for the Ski Patrol headquarters. After checking in, it's off to practice their skiing techniques. Lily is a downhill racer, while Austin loves to follow at a snowplow pace. Now comes the big test of the day, to locate a real person buried beneath the snow. Under the supervision of Craig Noble, our Animals Are People 2 field producer volunteers to be buried 3 feet under in a tiny dugout snow cave. After being walled in, she anxiously awaits a rescue. Incredibly, avalanche dogs have located people buried up to 30 feet deep. A real-life avalanche victim must be rescued within a half hour to have a good chance of surviving.
Austin, search! This way! Search! Austin, this way!
Once the search is underway, Craig uses hand signals and voice commands to help lead Austin down the slope.
Austin, this way! Where is it?
A good dog can cover an area the size of a football field in a couple of minutes, and it's just their sense of smell. It's amazing how good they are.
It takes Austin less than 5 minutes to pick up the scent and start digging furiously.
Part of the search is that they don't get their praise or their reward until the person's done and up and above snow. And so they won't quit. We'll just keep digging until that person's out.
What do you got, Austin? What do you got? Got a glove, Austin? Get her out of there, buddy. Where, Austin? Where, Austin? Where? Where, buddy?
Hopefully, an avalanche disaster will never occur. But if it does, Austin and Lily are a great insurance program for the skiers.
Austin's my kid. He thinks this is the best job in the world.
Oh, good boy. That's it. That's a good boy, Austin.
Rescue dogs like Austin and Lily are specially trained to do their job, but their desire to help us, well, that's something they've developed on their own. Here's a story about a different kind of rescue, the rescue of unwanted animals from an animal shelter. When homeless cats need a friend, they can't do much better than to wind up with the cat lover you're about to see. In fact, life with him is a real circus. It's just another day at the Clark County Animal Shelter in Las Vegas, Nevada. But for Russian-born Grigory Popovich, it's the opportunity to rescue another cat.
Hello, guys.
In fact, today, Grigory has rescued 12. There's Bilka, Vasya, Charlie, and Smokey, to name a few. But it all started with this little guy, Grigory's first rescue.
This is a Snow, my very first cat, which I took from animal shelter just for my family, just for fun.
It wasn't long before Grigory noticed that Snow was much more than just an ordinary house cat. He had all the natural instincts of a circus performer. And Grigory should know. For many years, he worked as an internationally acclaimed juggler with the Moscow Circus.
Oh.
And since Grigory grew up among many trained animals, he decided to create his own cat pet show.
I like cats because it's a very wonderful animals. All of them has their own character, and they are part of my family.
Now, these once abandoned felines not only have a home, they experience a quality of life far beyond their wildest dreams.
I start work with one cat, then I take second. Now I work with 12 cats.
Grigori's secret is to spend time observing each cat's personality in order to discover what they like to do naturally. When Bilka was rescued, he noticed that she enjoyed jumping from one chair to another. So with that in mind, Grigori began teaching her how to jump through hoops.
I start practice when they are kittens. It's like continuing of game, continuing of fun for them. Very good, smart cat. Charlie.
Charlie the Himalayan loves high jumps.
Good boy.
So Grigori further shapes his talent to jumping over objects.
Jump, jump, mister, sit down. Good boy.
With Grigori's love and support, this extraordinary entourage catapulted from a once uncertain future to the limelight of the Las Vegas Strip. As stars of their very own show at Circus Hotel and Casino.
I call my art a second chance. I give all of them second chance, come back to the life.
Charlie leaps over hurdles. Snow, the Olympian climber, flexes his paws on the parallel bars. And Smokey goes under the hurdles.
Hey, what are you doing?
These precocious cats have made a Cinderella transition from rags to riches, and they owe it all to their best friend, Grigori Popovich.
I feel like they're a big, big family because they are not just partners, they are like my children. And I also take from them a lot of love.
A lot of love indeed. This next story is about a Jack Russell Terrier who started out being the dog nobody wanted. Well, has that ever changed? Today, he's treated like a star and is adored by millions of people. He's sitting pretty now, but this terrier named Moose was once on the road to ruin. He was bad to the bone and always on a tear, and no owner could tolerate his beastly behavior. But his current companion, Mathilde de Cagny, wasn't fooled. She could tell that underneath, Moose was a shining star.
He's really a nice dog at heart, you know, once you get to know him. So he's not mean, he is smart, and it's absolutely fearless.
But even Mathilde was amazed to discover how bright this dog star was. With a little discipline and some TLC, the terrible terrier became a terrific pooch performer. Now that Moose had his act together, he was called in to audition for a television show in Hollywood. Everyone was immediately won over by the tiny canine's charisma. Moose was cast on the spot to play Eddie, the family pet, on a sitcom called Frasier.
Oh dear God! Unhand me, you rat! Oh, you vile creature! Vile, please! Drop him a liver snap!
Moose now works at Paramount Studios 4 days a week. After 7 years on the show, he's become a seasoned professional. But this primetime pooch is also a first-class ham. Moose spends lots of time preparing for his scenes and finds the show's writing extremely tasteful. And when the cameras are rolling, he always makes a splash.
Oh God, he's wet too! Don't! Let me get this canine sprinkler out of here!
But no matter how bright the spotlight, the 9-year-old terrier has never let stardom go to his head. At home, he leads a normal life with Mathilde and his 2 sons, Moosey
Hey, kids.
and Enzo, who are planning to follow in Pa's paw prints and carry on the family's acting tradition. Make no bones about it, the life of a Hollywood hound isn't always easy, but Moose has a caring home where his main motivation is just loving his friend Mathilde. To the world, he's Eddie, but to Mathilde, he's just her little Moose. Can you imagine an animal who was so inquisitive it actually led to an identity crisis? Our next story is about a sweet-natured ferret with an insatiable desire to discover the world around her. But when this animal first arrived in her new home, she had to unravel the biggest mystery of all, who she was.
Okay.
This cute, fuzzy animal is a 2-year-old ferret named Bridget. Today, she's emotionally well-adjusted. But when Bridget first arrived here at her Hanover, Connecticut home, she developed a serious identity crisis. You see, Bridget wasn't the only animal in the family. Her friend and owner, Stephanie Schaefer, also has a dog by the name of BB.
Good dog.
And Bridget the ferret, well, she thought the only way to fit in was for her to act like a dog, too.
Come on, Bridge.
Stephanie was never really aware of Bridget's dilemma. In fact, she loved her just the way she was.
She's just Bridget. She just hangs around.
Nevertheless, Bridget knew what she wanted. So just like the other neighborhood canines, she'd go for walks. She'd even begun to spy on BB, trying to learn his behavior perfectly. So everything he did, she would do too.
Good girl.
When BB zigzagged through a slalom of poles, so did Bridget. But somehow performing these dog tasks just wasn't enough. Being a ferret, Bridget felt the need to do something more. She needed to develop her own identity.
Caesar.
To prove just how intelligent and independent she really was.
Swing.
To find her inner ferret.
Come here.
And then it hit her. Playing the piano. And she was good. A modern-day Mozart in the making. At first, Stephanie couldn't believe her ears or her eyes, and who could blame her?
I was so amazed. I thought if I told anyone, it would stop and nobody would believe me.
But it was true. Bridget had found herself in music. And that's when she finally realized it's good to be a ferret.
She doesn't think she's a person. She doesn't think she's a dog. She doesn't think she's a cat. She's a ferret. She knows exactly what she is.
And these days, it's hard for Bridget to remember when she ever wanted to be like a dog. She's too busy being herself.
Animals, you know, give us so much love. It's no wonder that people respond by doing everything we can for our pets. We give them food, we give them shelter, we give them lots of affection. But sometimes even that is not enough, not when our pets need medical attention. Fortunately, breakthroughs in animal medicine now allow us to do more than ever. Yeah, but we're still going to let the humans be the doctors, huh? Doggy Hauser, MD here. Now visit an extraordinary medical facility, truly state-of-the-art. And the procedures they can do, well, you've just got to see it to believe it.
This is the new frontier for animal treatment, the teaching hospital at the University of California at Davis. This innovative institution is a leader in adapting human medical advances to veterinary science. Their high-tech tools include CAT scans and MRIs, ultrasound and endoscopes. While dentists are pioneering work in root canals and even braces, surgeons are removing brain tumors and cataracts. Dogs with severe arthritis can have hip replacements. There's even a facility for saving horses born prematurely. These innovative techniques are often the only hope for seriously ill animals.
So this lead, once it's tunneled under her skin, will hook up to the generator.
Ashley first came here when her owner, Hobart Hamilton, noticed she was moving erratically.
When they took a 24-hour EKG, they found that there was 1 9-second gap where her heart didn't beat at all.
What's the answer? A canine pacemaker, just like the ones perfected for use in humans.
I'm somewhat familiar with the procedure since her best friend in life was my dad, who had a pacemaker, and she kept him company for the last 5 years of his life.
That's nice.
Dr. Darcy Aden is a resident in cardiology and has worked to make pacemaker implantation almost routine.
It's exciting to be in the cutting edge of the field and to be involved in procedures such as that.
One of the newer procedures is kidney dialysis, a treatment first tried on animals, then perfected on humans, and now coming full circle back to veterinary use. Susie, the Shar-Pays owner, Harold Miller, knows she wouldn't be alive without it.
We come on Mondays and Thursdays. It's an all-day procedure. It takes about 5 hours on dialysis, and then the blood testing and stuff that they do also.
The procedure is exhaustive and time-consuming, which means it takes a special kind of dog.
Susie.
And human.
He just loves me and totally, so I feel fortunate to be able to take care of her.
For cats with kidney failure, there's an even more advanced procedure available, a kidney transplant. These cats have been saved from the animal shelter where they would have been euthanized. Now, because of a groundbreaking program, they'll be taken to a new home in return for their donation of one kidney that will save another cat's life. Dr. Claire Gregory has been involved in this program since the 1980s.
Well, anyone who approaches you for a kidney transplant for their pet considers that pet a very special member of their family. And now we've had some cats live as long as 10 years following the procedure.
This kind of advancement in veterinary medicine is benefiting everyone, both animals and the people who love them. Just ask Lillian Richmond about her Cocker Spaniel, Cleo.
I don't think she would have lasted long without this work done. Her pacemaker must have really done something. She's just perfect. We've got a new dog.
The exciting progress made at the University of California at Davis is helping to improve the quality of life for animals everywhere. Now our next story takes us to the distant mountains of Japan. The weather here can be a little extreme, but that doesn't seem to bother the local inhabitants one bit.
There's nothing like a warm dip in nice hot water, right? But humans aren't the only ones who enjoy the pleasure of a hot soak. Some of our closest cousins figured it out long ago. In fact, they can't live without it. On Japan's main island of Honshu, these snow monkeys, also known as Japanese macaques, make their home along the hot springs of a remote mountain valley. Volcanic activity and hostile weather have earned it the name the Devil's Valley, but don't look for any pitchforks here. At night, the temperature drops to 13 degrees below zero. But when this valley freezes over, it's not the end of the world, just time to hop in the tub. The snow monkeys depend on the hot spring to brave an otherwise intolerable climate. The only primate native to Japan, they've been making a splash here for thousands of years. Living in extended families of 20 or 30, they've come to rely on each other in a way that's, well, practically human. If you love having the relatives over every Sunday, you would definitely want to live with these guys. And like most of us, these highly evolved animals treat their elderly with respect. This grandmother may be old, but she's still hot stuff thanks to her daily bath. The local guest house is run by another grandmother, who at 82 has spent her life living alongside the monkeys. With her daughter, she takes care of the guests who come from all over Japan to visit these unusual residents. For the macaques, living as one big family has plenty of advantages. For one thing, there's always a babysitter around when you need one. Snow monkeys care for each other's children as if they were their own. Doing laundry is never a problem. Everything here is wash and wear. But if you do want to take your coat to the cleaners, the service is while you wait, and totally free. Grooming is the most common form of social interaction. So social are these creatures, they're even willing to share their pool party with human visitors. Just don't get any ideas about moving in. As well as being social animals, the macaques are highly territorial. So you better stay on your side of the tub. Despite the harsh climate, the snow monkeys have no plans to leave their ancient home, because everyone knows at the end of a hard day, you just can't beat a nice hot bath.
There are lots of things animals and people get to do together, but most businesses give our pets the cold shoulder when it comes to that most popular human activity of all, shopping. Fortunately, these big spenders know places where the doors are always open.
New York City, the Big Apple. Many say the shopping capital of the world. Every day, millions of people come to find that perfect purchase or special gift. Well, what about the heartbroken hound who has to wait outside while his owner goes into a shop or a restaurant? Even in New York, dogs just can't get a break. Unless you know where to look.
Are you ready, Moose? You ready for a big day?
Moose and his human companion Spencer have got dog discrimination licked.
Moose,
They're going to places where dogs are not only welcome, they're treated as VIPs. Very important pooches.
Look, here we are, FAO Schwartz, our first stop.
Everyone knows dogs love toys, so what better place to start out than the world's most exclusive toy store?
Are you ready to go inside, Moose? Yeah.
Not every store in the city is so animal-friendly, but FAO Schwartz welcomes them with open arms, and Moose is well acquainted with some of the top dogs here.
Check this ball out. You fetch that?
This ball may be a little out of his league.
Who's this?
Now he wants a pet of his own, and it looks like he's got his pick of the litter.
Yeah.
Yup, this one's definitely a keeper.
There you go. Hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
It's time to shake a leg to their next stop.
Hi.
Oh my God, the Furby ad
Anything that my
plastered
dog
all over the front of the
Yes,
store.
of course. Just come this way.
Great.
This was 1999 when this tape was.
This section at Sam Goody's is a dog's delight.
Oh, great.
We have a couple of things that he might enjoy. Snoop Dogg, his new single.
Oh, he's a big Snoop Doggy Dogg fan.
Ace Ventura Pet Detective, 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, this would be great. Do you remember how upset you got when the Dalmatians were lost? Oh, it's terrible. I think we'll go with Snoop because you love the rap, don't you? Yeah.
You'd think his dogs would be tired after so much running around, but Moose's Dog Day afternoon has more fun in store. New York's Fifth Avenue is the best place on earth for window shopping. If you can't find it here, you won't find it anywhere. Fortunately, Moose is a dog who knows what he wants and has a nose for finding it. You won't see this hotel mentioned in any traveler's guide, but for blue ribbon canine accommodations, there's no beating the exclusive New York Dog Spa and Hotel.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Naresh. Welcome to New York Dog Spa and Hotel.
Thank you.
This is Manhattan's full-service hotel for dogs.
Like any top hotel, a gift shop is available for Moose's every need.
Okay, here we have our gift shop. We have some toys here. We have some designer bowls.
Great.
Some great Sherpa bags. These all have squeakies. This is the Alien.
Alien. Moose is a big fan of the X-Files. Yeah.
And we have our grooming facility. We do shampoos and baths and nail clips.
Would that be a pedicure or a podicure?
This is our cafe. Maybe like lunch with Moose before you head out.
Sure.
The service at Cafe de Fido has definitely gone to the dog.
Hey, what would you like?
We've come for snacks.
Where else can you find a restaurant where doggy treats are on the menu?
Here's your plate.
Like the French say, bon appetit.
Good boy. Woo! That was a big day.
So after a hard day of shopping, they may be dog tired.
Ooh, yeah, me too.
But in the Big Apple, it really is a dog's life.
Splurging on your animal companion is a great idea. Just don't leave those credit cards around where your pet can find them. I'm still paying for all those chew toys. On past programs, we've invited you people to write to us about the animals in your lives. Recently, we received an inspiring letter about some horses in Malibu, California, who are helping troubled kids learn the importance of trust.
Nestled deep in the Santa Monica Mountains of Southern California, there's a very special horse ranch called Connemara. Here, children from all walks of life come to learn how to create a bond of cooperation, respect, and trust with horses. By using the methods originally developed as a gentle way of taming wild horses, Connemara owner Tally Hutcherson helps these children face their own fears and issues of self-esteem.
What I'd like to see happen is for horses to inspire youth to just go beyond their preconceived ideas of what they can do.
For 14-year-old Mary, the opportunity to come to Connemara Ranch is really the opportunity to face an old fear.
I only had one experience, and it was kind of scary. The horse had, a mind of its own, so it was like going wild. I felt like kind of scared because he was so much bigger than me.
Now Mary will have the chance to learn to face her fear of horses. And 14-year-old Sean also comes to the ranch with his share of doubts. He's never seen a horse in person, and a cautious Arabian named JR seems to sense that.
If someone's afraid, then they become responsive to that. If someone is confident, they become responsive to that.
Sean quickly learns that by approaching JR calmly, he'll be treated like a friend. And this is where the trust begins.
Good job, Sean.
But the true test is in the ring, where Inches, a 10-year-old thoroughbred, meets a nervous Mary for a technique called join up. In join up, Mary must first gain Inches' attention, then her trust. They are symbolically connected by a whip, which represents a horse's tail. With this whip, Mary is saying to Inches, I am a horse like you. You can trust me. By being patient and calm, Mary relaxes Inches, and Inches actually tells Mary how she feels with her body.
She's dropping her head down and she's being real submissive and saying, you know, I don't mean you any harm. And now just turn your back towards her. Good.
When I turned my back, I didn't hear nothing, and I waited for a while, and suddenly I could feel it come, like if it was a part of me. And it was just a great feeling, you know, like it trusts you.
As Sean enters the ring with 10-year-old Comet, he's still pretty nervous, and Comet can feel that. But Sean sticks with the horse, and as his fear lessens, so does Comet's. Finally, Sean feels ready to turn his back.
One step at a time, Sean. Don't do anything real big.
And soon Sean has found an unexpected friend.
It's like he just reading your mind. I know him better. It's like he trusts me. That's cool.
By the end of the day, friendships between horses and humans are well underway. And these kids have learned that when trust conquers fear, anything is possible.
So grab the neck, hold on tight. Okay, big hug. Bam. Yeah. Beautiful.
Being around these horses has taught kids like Mary and Sean an important lesson, how to trust their own feelings and believe in themselves. Tonight we've seen some incredible stories about the affection that animals and people have for each other. Animals make our lives happier, safer, more exciting, better in just about every way. So let's make sure we do the same for them. I'm Alan Thicke, and we'll see you next time on Animals Are People Too.
Man's best friends are the animals. Treat them nice and they'll be nice to you.
Oh, the theme song.
Try to keep in mind that they're just like humankind. Animals are people too. What's more fun than an animal acting silly just like people do? Animals are people too.
I don't really follow the logic. But, you know, I can agree with the sentiment. I think birds have feelings too. Makes more sense to me than saying that they're people. Thank you to Questar Video, and thank you also to West Coast Ebb for sending in this tape. Alan Thicke, hosting Animals Are People Too. Oh my God, Easy Rider. Thank you, Jess. Let's get to those, hey? Shall we or shall we not? I think we shall. We've had a request from Cheesehammer. Thank you for the America's Funniest Videos theme song, which the Alan Thicke program seemed to be taking some inspiration from, perhaps. We also had a request from Zelda Master to play us some Kiss That Frog. Let me find that. And then we had Easy Riders. That's a nice well-rounded progression of things. Good morning, Trill. Let's see. Easy Riders. Boom.
You and me. So let's run our opening title sequence. What do you say? You better not fast forward through this either, because hundreds of people worked round the clock to make these titles look just like this. You'll see them in a second, and you'll see me in a second, I'm going through this door, and when I'm on the other side, comedy will ensue.
Got laughs from coast to coast to make you smile. Real life look easy to capture all that style. You're the red, white, and blue. The fun and things you do. America, America, this is stories from your friends next door. They're not you might be a star tonight, so let that camera roll. Red, white, and blue. All the fun and things you do. America, America, this is you.
I told you those opening titles were exciting, and that theme song, oh, I can't get it out of my head. I'll be opening my lounge act with it one day. America, America, this is you. Just makes me want to go out and get singing lessons.
All right, strap yourselves into the motion theater ride of your mind. It's been a little bit, but it's time now to kiss that frog. It was indeed. Sponsored by Crystal Pepsi. Grab yourself a Crystal Pepsi and get on your 4D motion seat.
Let me introduce this frog nest. You alone can get him singing. He's all puffed up, wanna be your king. Swear that this is royal blood running through my skin. Oh, can you see the state I'm in? Kissing better. Kissing better. Get it into your head. He's living with you, he sleeps in your bed. Can't you hear beyond the croaking? Don't you know that I'm not joking? Are you what you want? I think you will. Don't you know that this tongue can kill? Come on, 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 let it kiss that frog. Let him sit beside you and eat right off your plate. You don't have to be afraid. There's nothing here today. Our princess, you might like it if you lower your defense. Kiss that frog.
Get your
I am creating a poll. You can vote as many times as you want with chat points. Come on, baby, get wet with me.
Come on, baby, jump in with me. Jump in the water. Come on, baby, get wet, get wet, get wet.
Oh, the eyeball. And thanks, Elder Master, for that one.
A lot of ideas have been put forward as to why.
And now we've got Easy Riders. These cats are lane split. Is it really going to tie? Everyone has refrained from voting so that it can stay a tie. Well, you know what I have to say to that? Thank you, Will Peters, for contributing 24,500 channel points. I think you're the top contributor. Yeah, I broke the tie. I have given out those points. Congrats on the bingo win, everybody. All right. Well, that means it's now time for Trains on location. This is from Trains Magazine. It's Trains Magazine on location, Appalachian Conquest. This was sent in the recent West Coast Deb box. And this will give me a great opportunity to scan some more tapes. Presumably this is an hour. We don't actually... No, shit, it's not rewound. All right, let's get that going. I could have been doing that this whole time. Oh, no. Let's get that rewinding. Oh, it's EP, so it'll rewind fast. Okay. Trains Magazine, on location. This looks like some corporate propaganda for CSX. Direct from the pages of Trains Magazine, based on its popular on-location photo series. One of the best-kept secrets in mountain railroading. CSX's Corbin Division main line in Kentucky and Tennessee. Another song. Thank you, Jess. Let's pick it. Shout out some ideas if you got them, anybody. Otherwise, I'll play something after I finish reading this. Witness the parade of coal trains, auto rack trains, and general freights against a backdrop of fall colors. Visit busy Corbin Yard, heart of the division, with insightful commentary from CSX railroaders. Join the crew of a helper engine for the trip up treacherous Crooked Hill. Ride a southbound unit coal train over Duff Mountain. Oh, it does say it's 60 minutes. And geez, it cost $29.95 originally. This looks like it's for legit like train enthusiasts because it is from Trains Magazine. So I expect we're going to learn quite a bit about trains. Let's let's enjoy. Let's see. Let's enjoy song.
Bye. 1, 2, 5 truck, 3, 4, 5 truck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 truck. Jump on board and away she goes. It's a fire truck. Pull up the ladder and drag out the hose. It's a fire truck.
Thank you, Jess.
If you listen to the bell, then you sure can't tell it's a fire truck. A 1, 2, 3 alarm, 4, 5, 6 alarm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alarm. here she goes. It's a fire truck. Pull up the ladder and drag out the hose. It's a fire truck. If you listen to the bell, you sure can tell it's a fire truck.
Forgot how long the fire truck song is. This tape is still rewinding.
Kids, if you want some fun and adventure, be
Don't
sure
worry.
to look for more.
I don't even remember what this song sounds like. Oh, right now I do.
Time can be anywhere that Papa Beaver is found.
The song is kind of unhinged.
Big umbrella gathered all around. Romantic weddings in the spring where love and sunlight shine.
It rambles all over the place.
It's a happy face, Papa Beaver's story time.
It's a special place. It's a happy face.
Put something in the box. Can I get something in the box?
Oh, box man.
Cheese.
Port. We are out of time. We are done.
Thanks, Jake.
You bet. We'll be back after a commercial break, folks. Stay tuned.
Front of the camera, they're a little less than super, as they proved while hosting this show called Basketball's Funniest Pranks.
Hey, Charlie, we got a game to play. Thanks for watching. Get your big bubble head. Hey, you didn't tell me to walk away.
Kitchen and find some cheese.
Okay, our tape is rewound, so let's get into Trains Magazine on location, Appalachian Conquest, while I take the opportunity to scan more tapes, because we got to get them up on that shelf, don't we? We sure do. We sure do.
Now, from the publishers of Trains Magazine, comes ready references for active railroading fans. The ideal companion to any scanner, the Compendium of American Railroad Frequencies, 13th edition, is a must-have for only $16.95.
I already
And
love the production
Contemporary
value of this
Diesel
one.
Spotter's Guide, 2nd edition, is the diesel fan's perfect travel companion for just $19.95.
This is definitely for very
To order
hardcore
your
train
Compendium of
enthusiasts,
American Railroad
and I love it.
Frequencies, Contemporary Diesel Spotter's Guide, or to subscribe to Trains Magazine, call toll-free 1-800-533-6644, 24 hours a day. For faster service, call Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Outside the U.S. and Canada, call 414-796-8776. Please have your credit card ready.
Oh, do we not have Will today for while we're watching Trains Magazine? This looks like some very good train content. Oh, sweet.
Hi, I'm Kevin Keefe, editor of Trains Magazine, and welcome to On Location, our video documentary series about great train watching spots in North America.
Oh,
In
that
this, our
multi-monitor
fourth edition,
CRT
called
setup.
Appalachian Conquest, we'll take you to CSX Transportation's Corbin Division in Kentucky and Tennessee. Here you'll see high horsepower diesels battling tough Appalachian grades, and you'll meet the people who run this demanding piece of railroad. And you'll also see plenty of what the Corbin Division is known for, unit coal trains. Watch for more in our On Location series, direct from the pages of Trains magazine. And now, Appalachian Conquest. The past is prologue, said Shakespeare. In the case of CSX Transportation's Corbin Division, the past hinges on the L&N, otherwise known as the Louisville and Nashville Railroad. The L&N has been described as a Southern institution of the highest order, and for good reason. The L&N was chartered by the Commonwealth of Kentucky in 1850, a good 80 years before this 482 steam engine posed for its portrait at the railroad's South Louisville shops. Following the Civil War, the road began to spread into the Deep South, acquiring and building lines which eventually would allow service between Louisville and Birmingham, Alabama in 1872. The L&N was cautious and conservative, a railroad that lived by its slogan, Old Reliable.
Birmingham was
but what L&N
founded in
lacked in flash and
1871.
glamour, it compensated with rock-solid profitability.
They got in there quick.
When America entered World War II, President J.B. Hill predicted the
was the
railroad and
Magic
its
City,
employees
after
would
all.
not be found wanting. Even the Great Depression of the 1930s couldn't trip up the Old Reliable. The reasons were as sensible and straightforward as the L&N itself: coal and conservatism. During L&N's
Birmingham was an
heyday,
industrial
bituminous
boom town,
coal
so it
from
makes sense that
online
they would-
mines in eastern Kentucky
the
accounted for
railroad would be an essential
57% of
part
all
of its
company tonnage
birth.
and 40% of total revenues. You'd think a conservative L&N would have shunned those newfangled diesels of the 1940s, but weight restrictions south of Nashville prompted L&N to sample its first diesels, 16 E6 cab units built by the Electromotive Division of General Motors. On the other hand, L&N continued to order freight locomotives that burned the same coal that filled its hopper cars. The 42 Big Emma 284s ordered in the early 1940s were the ultimate development of L&N steam. Still, the writing was on the wall for Big Emma and L&N's other steamers. When a Big Emma was tested against a 4,500 horsepower set of EMD F3s in 1948, the diesels came out on top, and by 1959, internal combustion had toppled L&N steam. The first wave of F units came in a simple black paint scheme, an attempt to disguise the oil burners from L&N's online coal producers. But as the diesels took hold, the paint scheme flowered, graced with L&N's traditional herald. L&N's image was already in twilight when the camera caught these late-model alcos at the diesel shop in Corbin, Kentucky in 1978. L&N had long been a marketing component of Seaboard Coastline Industries, which owned 98% of L&N stock. In the mid-1970s, L&N and a host of smaller railroads controlled by SCL were dubbed the Family Lines as a marketing tactic. The name foretold the end of the L&N when it was folded into CSX Transportation on December 29, 1982. Of course, you can argue that L&N's corporate identity began to crumble back in 1902. That's when a majority of L&N stock was secured by Atlantic Coastline, a Seaboard Coastline predecessor. But then, it wouldn't really matter. As we said earlier, L&N's past is CSX's prologue. Or to put it another way, that was then, and this is now. Our story unfolds over 100 miles of what is arguably the most scenic portion of the Corbin Division in Kentucky and Tennessee. Starting at Orlando, Kentucky, we'll travel south on the CC subdivision to Sinks, the junction with the Lebanon branch. From there, we'll drop south to Perth South, the north end of the Crooked Hill Pusher District. We'll climb Crooked Hill to the Pusher Base at East Bernstadt. Then we'll continue south to the division point of Corbin, Kentucky, the junction with the Cumberland Valley subdivision and the heart of CSX Transportation's operations in eastern Kentucky. From Corbin, we'll head south on the KD sub to Lott, the junction with Norfolk Southern's Clear Fork branch. We'll continue to Morley, a few miles south of the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. Then we'll do battle with Duff Mountain, starting at Chaskey, another pusher base. We'll climb to Oaks until we top the grade at Habersham. Then it's downhill to Kilsey as we continue south to Jacksboro and the end of our on location near Vasper, Tennessee. Our first stop at Orlando offers an overview of the traffic, history, and engineering you'll find on this portion of the CC subdivision. We're at Tunnel 14, deep in the heart of the Daniel Boone National Forest. The northbound empty coal train charging toward us is about to thread itself through Tunnel 15, a short bore dubbed the Needle's Eye. Orlando also offers evidence of the changes that have transformed the CC subdivision since World War II. The Casey on this milepost marker reveals the line's heritage as Kentucky Central, which L&N acquired in 1892. 147 is the mileage from Covington, Kentucky, the north end of the old KC. This abandoned tunnel offers another glimpse of the past. Prior to 1963, the CC was a double-track railroad governed by automatic block signals, or ABS. The railroad operated like a two-lane highway with trains moving in one direction on each track. But declining traffic prompted L&N to convert the line to a single-track railroad. By removing much of the north track and leaving long passing sidings, L&N saved on track investment and maintenance, benefits it passed along to CSX. Today, the former south track handles trains in both directions. The key is centralized traffic control, known as CTC. CTC allows the CSX dispatcher to control switches and signals from a computerized dispatching center located hundreds of miles away in Jacksonville, Florida. What looks like another tunnel is actually an abandoned limestone quarry at Mullins, just north of Sinks, Kentucky. Sinks is short for Sinks of the Roundstone. The name refers to a nearby stream that disappears from sight when it sinks into the ground. Something of L&N's old double-track railroad can be seen in this tunnel at Mullins. Here, the north track survives as a 9-mile-long passing siding dubbed Track Number 1. But there's more to L&N's legacy here than tracks and tunnels.
I think a lot of the L&N influence is still here, and I can attest to that because I've found this railroad virtually my entire life, and it still looks like and sounds like and smells like the L&N in many ways. You still got yellow-nosed diesels, still got the same character of traffic on this line. It's still very much the same. It just says CSX instead of L&N. I think you can also see that in some of the operating philosophy. The L&N was a very conservative, well-managed and efficient railroad, and CSX, I would say, at least here, meets that test. But the L&N was a darn good railroad, and you can see it reflected in this railroad today.
Sinks was once the junction with the Lebanon branch, the original objective of the Kentucky Central. In L&N days, the branch handled traffic moving between Corbin and Louisville. Today, the branch survives as little more than an industrial spur, albeit one graced with a tunnel near its connection with the CC main. Perth South is the north end of what is known as Crooked Hill. For 6 miles, the CC sub is cursed with a 1.35% grade and a seemingly endless series of tight 8-degree curves. The railroad's response to the hill are pushers, known to local railroaders as hill helpers, one of several terms unique to this part of the Corbin division.
These are pronunciations that are kind of indigenous to the area, but Chaska, which is spelled C-H-A-S-K-A, is Chaskey, and K-I-L-S-Y-T-H, which would be kill scythe or something like that is Kelsey. Some of the local terms you'll hear, you may hear the term slop freights. Slop freight is a merchandise train that's probably less than a real hot priority. I would call 548 and 549 just long over-the-road locals. They stop, make set-outs and pickups along the route, so they're not really hot trains, so they're sloppers.
The Crooked Hill Helper consists of 2 late-model General Electric C40s, including comfort cab-equipped 7751. With little or no public access to the area, the best way to see Crooked Hill may be from the cab of a locomotive. The Crooked Hill Helpers are based at East Bernstadt, 12 miles or so south of Perth South. The view from the Hill Helpers as we move north offers a different view. The building to the right of the main line is the office where the pusher crews get lineups and instructions from the Jacksonville dispatcher.
On our division alone, up here in the Cincinnati division, we'll probably average something like 20, 25 trains a day. Then the K and A south of Corbin will probably have 25% more than that. So you're talking about a lot of coal business. Then we have 6 automobile trains a day scheduled, and a tote train, a through local, with all the coal trains they have. So you get real crowded out here occasionally. It's a lot of trains moving. It always makes me hope that the dispatcher's on his toes and keeping the blocks lined right.
Mind you, heavy traffic is nothing new on this line. As L&N's KY division, it served as the northern leg of the old Reliable's Cincinnati to Atlanta, Maine. More important, the KY handled thousands of tons of coal flowing from the Harlan County coal fields to the Cincinnati Gateway. From there, the coal moved to eastern railroads for delivery to industries on the Great Lakes. Even after the single tracking project of the early 1960s, coal continued to flow from south to north, but not for long. During the energy crisis of the early 1970s, coal began to move to power plants in the south. Around the same time, coal traffic to northern industries began to fall off. L&N found itself saddled with a physical plant geared to moving the opposite direction of the traffic flow. When Middle Eastern oil producers turned off the taps in 1974, the price of coal skyrocketed from $10 a ton to more than $60. The Eastern Kentucky coal producers called for more cars and faster service. Already punch-drunk, L&N struggled to stay on its feet in the face of its biggest traffic surge since World War II. Conservative as always, the railroad ordered enough new locomotives to get by. After all, the L&N had seen other coal booms and busts. But demand for utility coal continued to grow to the tune of 150% between 1970 and 1980. The L&N was trapped between a shortage of people, engines, and cars on one hand and battered track on the other. Like King Midas in reverse, the old Reliable's conservative approach worked against it, hampering its ability to reinvent itself in the face of change. The crisis was resolved in 1979 when the Interstate Commerce Commission granted a 22% rate increase on L&N's interstate coal movements. The coal producers howled until the railroad launched a $427 million capital improvement program. The plan included new locomotives and much-needed improvements to the physical plant. The changes are readily apparent as our Hill Helpers roll north into Perth South. We're taking the siding track, which is 15,706 feet long. Sitting on the main track in the distance is the unit coal train will push over Crooked Hill. After we stop, the coal train pulls ahead. The 7655 is a 4,000 horsepower C40-8 built by GE with a comfort cab, often called a wide body or super cab on the Corbin division. Coupled behind the power is a unit train composed of 90 cars. After the coal train has cleared the switch, the Jacksonville dispatcher lines the switch for the siding. The Hill Helpers then move south over the switch toward the rear of the coal train. The helper conductor removes the end-of-train monitor that's replaced the caboose on most American freight trains. The next step is to couple the air brake hoses between the rear of the coal train and the helper engine. This allows the helper engineer to oversee the coal train's air brake pressure while the monitor is disconnected. When the hill helpers finally lean their 8,000 horsepower shoulder into the rear of the coal train, the only thing to be heard is the creak of steel wheels on steel rails. To anyone but a railroad civil engineer, Crooked Hill's 8-degree curves and a 1.35% grade may seem abstract, even meaningless. But here in the real world, you can see the train bending around those curves. It's relatively calm inside the cab of the trailing diesel, time enough to ask our engineer what he thinks of his job.
The thing about being an engineer that I've learned so far is that no one job's alike at any particular day. So being an engineer is sort of like a doctor. It's sort of like an art form. It's not a scientific thing. It's something you got to, through experience, you got to feel it. As well as reading the probabilities and everything, you got to have that gut sense or something. The final call is your experience, what you feel after seeing what your information is.
The single tracking project left a trail of abandoned tunnels on Crooked Hill, most of them dating to 1882. It's not hard to imagine a Big Emma or an F3 bursting out of this portal. Until they invent a time machine, you'll have to settle for the CSX vehicles that use the old right-of-way as a service road. Fortunately, Tunnel 8 has a sister tunnel that's still in use. Another active tunnel is number 9. In 1964, the L&N lowered the roadbed through here to provide better clearance for high cars, including the auto racks we saw at Tunnel 8. Fortunately, tight clearances aren't a problem for the coal traffic that makes up the bulk of the traffic moving over Crooked Hill. Just how important is coal to CSX? In 1994, the railroad moved 1,678,000 carloads of coal, which translates into $1.5 billion in revenue. CSX competitor Conrail tends to assign older locomotives to pusher service on Horseshoe Curve in Pennsylvania, but not CSX. With a 40% market share compared to its Eastern Rail competition, CSX knows the value of using newer, reliable locomotives in pusher service. Not that CSX turns up its yellow nose at other commodities. The $4.63 billion that the railroad generated in operating revenue in 1994 was due in part to exceptional growth in merchandise traffic. These boxcars reflect the railroad's 33% market share in food and consumer goods. Bulkhead flats represent a 33% share in forest products. Chemicals reflect a 39% market share, much of which is carried in tank cars. And scrap steel moving in gondolas represents a 28% market share in metals. One of the few places on Crooked Hill with a name instead of a number is Hazel Patch, which offers further proof that Crooked Hill came by its name honestly. The object of these curled rail fasteners is to keep the rail from shifting sideways. Corbin is the junction of 3 major subdivisions and also features a big classification yard and locomotive shop. Let's take a closer look. Corbin Terminal is composed of 2 yards, the East Yard and the West Yard. In the middle of both yards is the locomotive shop complex, divided into 3 components: the Locomotive Service Center, the main facility, and the pre-inspection building. Corbin is also home to the Corbin Division offices, which are located at the north end of the terminal across the tracks from the old L&N passenger station. Finally, Corbin is the junction of the CC sub to Cincinnati to the north, the KD subdivision to Knoxville to the south, and to the east, the Cumberland Valley subdivision, otherwise known as the CV. This empty CV coal train rolling out of Corbin can trace its past to 1886. That's the year construction crews began to build the CV east from Corbin. When the CV reached the Norfolk and Western at Norton, Virginia 5 years later, the CV became a bridge route for east-west traffic. But the jewel in the CV's crown was the completion in 1911 of a line into the Harlan County coal fields. Today, coal accounts for 100% of the CV's traffic. Coal means unit trains, a system whereby entire trains are matched with rapid loading facilities and unloading facilities. The use of dedicated cars, such as these 100-ton hoppers, achieves mileage per day averages that are as much as 20 times higher than that of a general service car. What's more, the entire train travels direct from origin to destination without being switched at intermediate points. It's a win-win situation for everyone concerned. CSX gains a high degree of equipment utilization, and the customer receives an attractive freight rate. But unit trains like this one in Hamilton, Kentucky weren't always the order of the day. In the dark days before the 1970s, coal often originated as single-car shipments. Although a coal train might have looked like this modern unit train, it actually consisted of cars from numerous mines headed to just as many customers. Denham Coal still ships small amounts of coal this way. Trucks bring in coal from Hazard for processing. First, the coal is gravity dumped into the processor. Then it's sorted into 3 grades: 2-inch block coal for home heating and 2 grades of stoker coal for government contracts. Although Denham handled some 260,000 tons of coal last year, only 30 or 40,000 tons moved by rail. The rest left Denham the same way it arrived, by truck. More typical is Bledsoe Coal, a fast-loading facility located in Hamilton on the CV's Straight Creek branch. Like Denham, coal arrives at Bledsoe by truck, but that's where the similarities end. Bledsoe receives 12,000 tons of coal a day, a portion of which is stockpiled. The rest is loaded into CSX unit trains and shipped to utilities in the south. Operators monitor the slow progress of the empty coal train as the overhead tipple spews a stream of coal into each empty hopper. By the time the westbound loads arrive at Corbin, the coal is settled into rounded piles. We're standing on the north lead to the east yard, primarily used for single-car shipments. Coal trains, on the other hand, generally head into the west yard, where they are inspected and recrewed. Car department employees known as car knockers inspect inbound trains on 2 inspection tracks spaced 22 feet apart. When a light running repair needs to be made, the car knockers can handle it on the spot instead of waiting for the car to be switched out to a repair track. A minor point perhaps, but it improves equipment utilization and satisfies the customer, one of Corbin Terminal's major goals.
To say my most stressful point of it is when our traffic pattern's interrupted, where we can't get our shipments to our customers. Because without our customers, we don't sell apples and oranges. We don't sell clothes. We sell service. And if we can't perform and sell that service and provide that service to our customers, we're not doing our job. And if we're not doing our job, then there's other modes of transportation. So I've got 40 years. I've seen a lot of changes from the steam engine days now to the AC engines. A lot of changes. But the basic concept is still the same thing. You run a train from point A to point B and deliver the customer's goods. If they pay you for it, you go back and invest and do it again.
The old L&N passenger station at the north end of Corbin Terminal once was home to both L&N and CSX dispatchers. Given the problems that the L&N faced in the 1970s, the station was undoubtedly a hotbed of stress and heartache. Of course, the dispatchers are gone now, relocated to Jacksonville. But the stress and heartache didn't leave town. It simply moved across the tracks to the Corbin Yardmaster's office.
There's no really worst thing about it. It's a good job.
Well, now it's getting kind of interesting.
Completely out of the weather.
And the tape is dying.
Sometimes it does get busy. You have so many. I have 5 radio channels. I have 3 dispatcher wires. I have 4 telephones. The quad screen. We stay busy, and sometimes, which you can't. Nobody out there knows what you're doing, so they can't tell when to call you. But you may have 3 phones ringing, 3 people hollering at you on the radio, and a dispatcher wanting to talk to you, all at the same time, and then for the next 30 minutes, nobody wants to talk to you. Yardmaster J.R. Miller, over. J.R., did you get the yard iron on 8 East this morning? Okay, all right, thanks.
Locomotives represent another facet of Corbin Terminal's personality.
All right, I'm going to see
Each
if we
of
can
the C-40s leading this empty coal train out of the West Yard cranks out 4,000 horsepower.
Because we may have to hit the brakes on
more
this.
than
It's
double
a little
the horsepower rating of one of L&N's F3s.
It's getting
but
a
all
little
of King's horsepower isn't enough when Humpty Dumpty is short of locomotives. Or so we learned when we asked the manager of operating practices what topped his wish list for the Corbin division.
More engines, more locomotives. That's what we're short of. And beyond that, like I said, it just makes your life easier because of the way the railroad traffic flows. We have a traffic flow that, it generates in spurts. And one day you'll have 15 coal trains to load on the division. The next day we'll load 5. So we've got enough locomotives to handle the midpoints of it to load 10 a day. All right, so the days you load 15, you got trains sitting. But it'll fluctuate out, but that's just kind of the fluctuation of the coal business. That's basically it.
With locomotives in demand, availability is a priority, but a reliable locomotive...
That seems like it's not having a great time against the VCR heads there. Just for science, I suppose I should liquid hull. Which is to say, clean the VCR heads. We did it recently, so I don't know that they're that dirty, but it sometimes has a magical effect. Oh god, that was a lot. Oh, geez, it's like spraying out now. Okay, that counts as 4 drops. How do I change the speed? I do not want you to be on EP. SP. There we go. Just a quick liquid hole. I'm getting these tapes scanned though. I've been working my way. You've been seeing them coming up on the screen. I've been working my way through the West Coast Deb box. I missed one. There's also Mexican American Heritage for Children, hosted by Felicia Rashad. They'll just be out of order. I don't want to rename the files. I have to remember whose box is whose. I should really write that down. But yeah, I'll be getting through them gradually. Okay, is that rewound? I think that's rewound. All right, so just out of curiosity, I'm going to see if the train tape is any better now that we've cleaned the heads. And if not, we'll, I think, move on to something else.
Locomotives on a stalled train, and that's where the Corbin Locomotive Shop comes in.
Well, what we do here at Corbin is mainly 92-day maintenance work.
Liquid hole, baby.
Fallout work. What we classify as fallout work would be a locomotive that doesn't run the entire
well, this is incredibly dry and niche.
And it falls out for whatever reason. The air compressor goes bad, the turbo
so
goes
I hope
bad.
I hope
we
you're
get a water
enjoying
leak, the radiators leak, whatever. We're of course situated
We'll keep watching, I'll keep
southeastern
scanning.
Kentucky here, and we do get locomotives in from the north and the south. We're kind of a midpoint in the system. And we can do just about everything we can with the exception of heavy repair work, and we do send that to our other facilities. We try to have 12 locomotives a day, every day, 365 days a year, for 92-day maintenance intervals. That locomotive will come into the service center, will be processed through there, and then go into what we call pre-inspection mode. At that point in time, the locomotive will be inspected electrically and mechanically for all the different areas of not only federal policy, but CSX policy that we want to check on our locomotives. It's about a 2-hour process. We load box the engine. We find out everything we can possibly find out about that locomotive. We go over the histories of the locomotive. Once that's done and we've found everything that is wrong with the locomotive, why it's not performing properly or why it is performing properly, we bring it over to the main facility over here. And at the main facility, it goes into what we term a backup area where we handle all the external reports, oil filter changes, that kind of stuff that has to be done, any radiators that would have to be done, any of the heavy work. Once that's all done, we back out of the facility and we come down what we term a spot line or a queue line. And then we do specific 92-day maintenance. Once that locomotive goes through the process and goes back out, it goes back onto the railroad and back to the service center to take its next train on. And the whole process takes roughly, what we're shooting for is 27 hours for that whole process to take place. And we hang in that neighborhood. These guys do an excellent job, they really do. We've got about 230 people here at Corbin. That's 3 shifts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a pretty diverse crew. Any locomotive at any point in time with about any problem you can think of can be fixed right here. We run our trains to about the maximum tonnage we can get, which is one reason why our locomotives have to go out there, run for a 92-day time frame. They have to perform every day of that time frame, because once they come out and they go to the locomotive shop for an unscheduled shopping, we run the risk of having an unsatisfied customer out there because we didn't get his train to him on time, you know. So the idea is to keep the fleet as small as you can and have that fleet that you do have out there running every day that it's supposed to be running. You don't see excess locomotives on a CSX train. Yeah, we may be shuttling power somewhere, and if we are, those extra locomotives are dead. You know, they're not out there idling along, just wasting fuel. You know, they're being conserved, and like I say, we're maximizing every piece of horsepower that we've got out there.
Since the Corbin Locomotive Shop was opened in 1986, it's handled thousands of diesels. Let's take a closer look at some of the engines the shop ministers to. The 7849 is a C40-8W, which the railroad calls a CW40-8. The W in the title stands for wide cab, which offers improved collision protection and visibility for crews. The C indicates the unit has a 3-motor truck equipped with 3 conventional DC traction motors. The rectangular radiator intake grills are canted outward under the thick radiator wings so typical of Dash 8 production. The David to the C40's Goliath is this 1,800 horsepower U-18B, one of 102 units built for CSX predecessor Seaboard Coastline. The U stands for Universal Series, which GE produced between 1959 and 1977. The B stands for 4-axle truck, which happens to be a Blomberg truck from an EMD F unit traded to GE. Finally, this yard slug set offers more pulling power for less fuel and maintenance cost. The 4291 is a GP39, a 2,300 horsepower diesel built for road service. A series of bus cables carries the GP39's traction current to this slug. The slug has traction motors, but no engine to fuel or maintain. From Corbin, our story continues south along CSX's wild and woolly KD sub. We'll check out the line from trackside as well as from inside the cab of a southbound unit coal train. Let's hit the road. Like the crew we'll be riding with, our journey starts in the crew office. This is both arrival and departure point for train crews assigned to trains operating on all 3 subdivisions. The train orders and clearances that train crews collected from the operator in L&N days are long gone, replaced by a computer that yields lineups, slow orders, and track warrants. Until CSX figures out a way to fax a crew to their train, it relies on a crew hauler to cart the crew to the head end. Little Caesar's Pizza doesn't exactly deliver to trains on the KD sub, so crews carry their meals and drinks in their own coolers. As soon as the crew finishes inspecting the power, we'll be on our way. There's a light rain falling as we roll out of the south end of Corbin, but we take it in stride. Regardless of whether you're riding the Santa Fe through the San Bernardino Mountains or Conrail through the Alleghenies, mountain weather is temperamental. Besides, the rain gives us an excuse to ask our engineer how he feels about operating trains on this leg of the KD sub.
This area, this terrain around here is just like a roller coaster because you're constantly either uphill or downhill, and around the curve, there's no real straight track, there's no real level track. It's just uphill or downhill all the way. Curves will slow a train down a lot. A lot of people don't realize that, but you know, you can use them to your advantage or disadvantage. You know, you need to let the train work for you naturally. You let the train do all the work if you can, and curves will help you. A standard coal train, all of our coal trains are 90-car coal trains, somewhere in the neighborhood of right about 12,000 tons, and you know what to expect out of them over the hills and the grades. Then you get the mixed intermodal trains, solid auto racks or trailer trains that are anywhere, 65, 7,000, sometimes 7,500 feet long. And you have your train over 3 hills at one time. And, where a coal train, they're usually about 5,000 feet long, and you can, you work them so much, you learn how to control them a lot better. Then you get these big, long trains that are stretched out all over the countryside, and they're a lot of fun. They can be a pain.
The KB sub took root as an extension of the Lebanon branch of all things. Originally known as the K&A, the line formed one leg of L&N's original route between Louisville and Atlanta. Compared to its KY cousin north of Corbin, the K&A was a poor relation. With little more than a pair of through freights and a handful of single-car coal trains, the K&A got by with a single-track line and 13 short passing sidings. The L&N's decision to boost clearances on the KY extended to the K&A as well. Within 5 years, new coal contracts were signed for power plants in Tennessee and Georgia. For the first time, unit trains of coal moved from eastern Kentucky coal fields in the north to customers in the south. In 1970, the K&A became the KD, or Knoxville Division. But a name change alone couldn't help the KD during the oil crisis of the 70s. While the CC subdivision grappled with the problem of how to move coal trains south instead of north, the KD struggled to simply move more trains. Somewhere in this tangle of trees, we cross the border of Kentucky and Tennessee near a timetable location called High Cliff. At this point, we begin to climb the 0.03% grade up Duff Mountain, Crooked Hill's ugly stepsister. The track that enters the tunnel on our left is Norfolk Southern's Clear Fork branch. NS trains have trackage rights over the KD sub from Lott, which is 4.5 miles behind us, to this spot called Holton. The track on the left forms a Y with the Clear Fork branch on the east end of the tunnel. The switch is located at the north end of this single truss bridge, one of several railroad engineering feats to be found at Morley, Tennessee. How do trains crossing the bridge look from trackside? Let's see. The tunnel up ahead is known as Hickory No. 1, one of 3 tunnels in the next 4 miles. All 3 tunnels take their name from Hickory Creek, which more or less follows the KD sub to the top of Duff Mountain at Habersham. We don't know how you feel about it, but lunging out of a dark tunnel and slamming across an unprotected private road isn't our idea of fun. Fortunately, the view is less stressful from the overhead bridge in the distance. We discovered that Morley had a lot more to offer than bridges and tunnels when we caught this southbound slop freight south of Hickory No. 1. We practically had to jump-start our hearts when the locomotives turned out to be an EMD SD40-2, a GEC 30-7, an MP15AC, and a Southern Pacific GE B36-7. The power consist was so unusual that we actually chased the train south to see it again. Did we make the right decision? The rest of the train gave us a chance to consider the state of the U.S. railcar fleet. As of January 1st, 1995, the fleet stood at 1.19 million cars, the first increase since 1980. These tank cars are a fraction of the almost 200,000 tank cars in service. These boxcars belong to a class of approximately 165,000. The number of covered hoppers in service is more than 310,000. There are 157,000 gons like this in service. Although these old hopper cars have been demoted to hauling old ties, they're kinned at 188,000 sister cars, most of which remain in unit coal train service. Finally, the loaded bulkhead flat bringing up the rear of the train represents one of 129,000 flat cars in service. We'll see more as our trip continues. Back on our southbound train, we pop out of the south end of Hickory No. 2 and roll across the creek itself. This is one of 7 places the KD sub crosses the creek in the next 2 miles. A short distance later, we duck into Hickory No. 3, the shortest of the 3 tunnels on this section of the line. We're rolling through an area called the Narrows. To our right, Highway 25W and Hickory Creek fight for space in the narrow canyon. Straight track brings us into the north end of Chaskey. This is the base of the helper district that will carry us over Duff Mountain. For the next 7 miles, the southbound grade varies between 0.76 and 1.15%. Fortunately, the engine to our left is the Chaskey Hill Helper, which will help shove our 9,000-ton coal train up the grade. The coaling tower on the left once fed coal to the steam engines that were used here, but the same diesels that killed off L&N steam also spelled the end for the Chaskey Hill Helpers. But what goes around comes around. These southbound unit coal trains that began to operate over the KY in the 1970s required 4 diesels to climb Duff Mountain. Before long, the railroad decided it could save 1 diesel per train by reinstating the Chaskey Hill Helper. Sure enough, by 1979, the Chaskey Hill Helpers were saving the railroad about 25 units a day. As for the coaling tower, those oil-burning diesels just sail by. As our train grinds to a halt, you might be wondering, how does the Chaskey Hill Helper work? Well, first, the KD dispatcher lets the Hill Helper crew know that a southbound coal train is on the way. The Hill Helper then moves to the north end of the siding where it stops to wait for the coal train. At first, the southbound looks like it's making a run for the mountain on its own, but as the end of the train nears the siding switch, it starts to slow down. After the southbound has cleared the switch, the dispatcher lines the switch and signal for the Hill Helper. Unlike the 2 units assigned to the Crooked Hill Helper, the Chaskey Hill Helper rates a single diesel. This is a GE AC 4400, a 4,400 horsepower unit equipped with AC traction motors. AC offers higher adhesion and less slippage than conventional DC motors. After the dispatcher throws the switch normal, the Hill Helper moves south to the rear of the coal train. Like his counterpart on Crooked Hill, the conductor hooks everything up. Then the AC 4400 takes Nike's advice, just do it, and so it does. An empty northbound coal train passes us as we begin our climb out of Chaskey. The double track will stay with us for the next 3 miles. It serves its purpose by allowing the dispatcher plenty of room to meet opposing trains. This crossover marks the location of Oaks, midway between Chaskey and Habersham. Oaks is named for Jim Oaks, who was division superintendent when the double track and the crossover were installed in 1980. Of course, you don't have to ride a train to appreciate Oak's blend of fast action and mountain scenery. This box is part of a unique derailment detector system on Duff Mountain. When a car derails, it cuts a wire strung across a plank mounted between the rails. Once the wire is cut, the light on this box goes out, telling the crew to stop and inspect the train. This sweeping curve takes us into Habersham. It sounds like the name of a crumbling estate hunched in the fog on the English moors. We'll stop here to meet 2 northbound trains. From the cab, our view of downtown Habersham dispels any romantic notions we might have had about Jane Eyre or Wuthering Heights. Cloudy skies have given way to hazy sun by the time our crew gathers with a local track gang to give the northbound trains a roll-by. Watching a passing train this way is the simplest way to spot equipment defects such as hot wheel bearings and dragging equipment. That's our conductor. His orange safety vest offers better visibility to passing trains and work equipment. Like the workers at the Corbin locomotive shop, he wears railroad-mandated safety glasses to protect his eyes. Leaving Habersham, we see the rest of the track gang parked on a spur next to the main line. The KD reverts to single track between Habersham and Kilsea, but one track is enough when the Jacksonville dispatcher is on top of his or her game. Habersham may not be the setting for a Gothic romance, but at least it has one thing going for it in terms of scenery: the Davis Creek Trestle. From Habersham to the top of Duff Mountain, the grade stiffens to 1%. As we near the top of our climb, we spot a number of track-related items. The black stain between the rails shows the location of an automatic wayside rail lubricator. This device applies a thin film of grease to each wheel flange, reducing friction and railhead wear. The replacement concrete ties along the right-of-way signify CSX Transportation's commitment to moving traffic quickly and efficiently on the Corbin Division. How does the railroad rate concrete versus wood ties?
I like them. I think it's still, we're in the trial process with them, see how they work. We put the first concrete ties in on the KD sub in 1989, I think it was, and we laid them. And we're now up to about 120 miles of concrete ties on the CC sub and the KD sub. So far, good luck. We've had a couple of slight problems with them. Some gauge opened it up, and we've changed the clips out, and they've done several other things with them. But they hold line a lot better, and hopefully you never have to replace them. You know, and that's the major maintenance free on that right there is the big one. But they hold line a whole lot better than the wood ties.
The wood ties in this switch give way to concrete as we roll through Kilsea. The siding here is just over 9,000 feet long, plenty of space to meet opposing trains. Check out the lead engines on this pair of southbounds. This early version of CSX Transportation's paint scheme lacks the yellow nose, which improves the unit's visibility at grade crossings. GP40-2 6608 wears the paint scheme of predecessor Chessie System, the 1973 merger of Chesapeake in Ohio, Baltimore in Ohio, and Western Maryland. We're still on a 1% grade south of Kilsea. Fortunately, we're rolling downhill. It seems like a good time to ask our engineer his opinion about the diesels he operates on the KD sub.
I like the EMDs the best because well, they got a quicker throttle response to them. Seems like they hold the rail a lot better. They're just a much better engine, I feel like. I think the new technology is, I think it's more of a hindrance to me because a lot of things that they'll do now as far as when they tear up and stuff, there's nothing I can do. I have no control over it. A lot of times when the computer shuts something down, there's no way you can go in there and override the computer to fix it. You have to call the dispatcher. They have to get a hold of somebody at the power board to get a hold of you to try to talk you through it to get them started again. With the older power, there were always reset buttons that you could go back and reset, or you knew what was wrong with it and you could reset it, get it started, get it going again. But these new ones, if the computer puts it down, you can't override the computer and do anything with it.
We're 3 miles south of Kilsea on Bridge 78. This is Big Creek, which follows the KD sub from here to La Follette. That's Highway 25W on the east side of the tracks. On the other hand, if you bail off the highway near here and head to the tracks, you may be rewarded with a southbound like this one, powered by a B36-7. This is La Follette, Tennessee. If home values were determined by rail fans, we suspect these houses next to the tracks would be worth plenty. At La Follette, the KD sub finally levels out. We're still pacing Highway 25W, which has acquired the look of a typical suburban strip. The only incongruous item here is a redwood caboose planted between the KD sub and the highway. South of Jacksboro, the railroad starts to look and feel like a mountain railroad again. The C40-8 leading this unit coal train has a determined look on its face. Perhaps it's bracing itself for what lies around the next curve. Our engineer isn't mugging for the camera. He's warning me about the same thing that furrowed the brow of that last C40-8, the high bridge over Cove Creek. How's the view from the river? Well, you could ask these fishermen, but see for yourself. We almost get whacked in the head by the foliage next to the tracks south of the Cove Creek Bridge. A few thousand feet ahead lies the tunnel that marks the end of our story at Vasper. As we plunge into darkness, it's easy to imagine that we're riding the head end of the Southland, the premier passenger train that L&N operated through this tunnel in the 1950s. But then we'd miss what railroading in general, and the Corbin Division in particular, means today.
For a person like me who's a rail fan for a while and seen a lot of changes in the industry, as have a lot of people who will see this tape, we've lost a lot of the private passenger trains. We've lost a lot of lines like the Erie-Lackawanna across Indiana. So arguably you could say that the railroad industry is not what it used to be. Well, I don't buy that. I think it's more exciting today than it's ever been. I find more reason to dig my camera out and go out trackside than I did a few years ago. And I'm just glad that it's still here, and I'm glad in particular that it's in a growth mode. When you've got, on some days, anywhere from 7, 8, 9, 10 auto rack trains, that's a real testimony that this is a very vibrant piece of railroad.
The way to live our vision on a daily basis is to understand that right now is the only time we have. John Hanley. That was, so every time we've watched a train tape, I've thought to myself, oh wow, these are really neat. Like I expect them to be kind of boring train enthusiast things, and they're, you know, they end up being travel documentaries or anthropological things where we talk about the people and the places that the train goes through. This is very much for rail fans. We learned a lot about the history of the railroad business. We learned the ins and outs of what kind of freight they were hauling at what during what times. It was really that was very dry, yeah, but I enjoyed getting a little glimpse of that world. Cool. And I have officially finished scanning the West Coast Ebb box. A few of them are already on the shelf behind me because I scanned them before, but all of these now have been scanned. I gotta just add them on the... Oh, I mean, it's not a bad thing. For one, it's not your fault that it was a dry tape. Also, yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I quite enjoyed the dryness of it. She's been so upset about the weather. So she's been wearing herself out, like running around and barking and shivering and being afraid. She doesn't like wind. It was pretty windy yesterday. And she doesn't like children having a good time giggling and laughing outside. It was really sweet. I went outside yesterday and the snow was falling, and then there was all this fresh fallen snow on the ground. These big chunky flakes. It's the first time the Raleigh area's had snow in like over 1,000 days, like many years. And so yeah, it was really beautiful out. And there were like, I could hear people all over the neighborhood just out like running around and just like losing their minds with delight. And there's down the street from us a family from somewhere in the Middle East, and the whole family was out there just like running around and giggling and laughing, and you know, for many of them maybe it was the first time they've ever seen snow, and it was really, really neat, really heartwarming. Snow is absolutely a very special event down here. People from the Midwest are just like, you call that snow? Well, you know, it's rare. And then I walked outside this morning, and it was like you could hear just the water running down the gutters everywhere and everything melting, and snow, it's all slush. So it's like we get one day of winter and one day of Midwestern like early winter and one day of Midwestern early spring. That's it as far as snow. What are we watching? for our final tape today. I heard there was some interest in flirting with magic, but I don't know if we want to save that for some special purpose. Oh, you vetted you vetted Flirting with Magic? Do you want to watch it now, Deb? You can make the call there. Are you uncomfortable in approaching someone you are attracted to? Know what to say after you say hello. Learn professional, easy to perform magic tricks. Guaranteed to impress members of the opposite sex. Magic or lizards? What attracts more women? That's a good question. What a great way to meet chicks. Kathy, who is single and 30-something, said, "Your magic tricks blew me away." Suzanne, who is single and 23, said, "I'm still amazed by your magic tricks." Barry, who is divorced and 45, said, "After my divorce, my social skills needed help. Your flirting course did the trick." These are some great testimonials. All right. Let me grab this. All right. Are we in the mood? Is everyone in the mood for Flirting with Magic? Let's do it. Thank you, Bella. All right, that seals the deal. We're doing magic flirting tape. My one regret is that Joshy D is probably asleep, because this seems like one he would get a kick out of. Oh my God. Oh, good. It's showing you how you peer pressure a woman into writing her phone number on a deck of playing cards for you. Let's thoroughly enjoy this box before we start. Flirting with Magic, your secret to dating success. It's easy to meet people. All you need is a little magic. Michael Jeffries, someone please Google him, your personal instructor, is one of LA's hottest magicians. He has performed for Jane Fonda, Billy Crystal, Cheryl Ladd, John Candy, Roger Ebert, Henry Winkler, Morgan Fairchild, along with numerous other Hollywood celebrities. Michael, a professional magician for 16 years, is a member of the famous Hollywood Magic Castle. Are you uncomfortable in approaching someone you are attracted to? Know what to say after you say hello. Learn professional, easy-to-perform magic tricks, guaranteed to impress members of the opposite sex. Build your self-confidence in meeting and attracting gorgeous men/women. This entertaining and informative course will help you turn your social life around like magic. Learn these tricks: the hot match, the vanishing cigarette, the vanishing pin, ripped but not torn, salt-free, gimme 5, elusive match, initial impression, quick change, and mystic ashes. What a great way to meet chicks, says Bob, who is single and 25. All right, this is copyright 1990, J&N Magic on Ventura Boulevard in Encino. All right, if you're ready for it. What? But he's done magic for Billy Crystal and Henry Winkler. How could he not have a Wikipedia article? Here we go. Flirting with Magic. Let's do it.
Well, let me try it again. In fact, this time...
All right, hold on. It's, unkind. But only a little unkind. Oh boy. Hooray. Alf, thanks for the gift sub to Michael Jeffries. You know, our good buddy Thomas is a magician too. I wonder if he knows any of these techniques for picking up chicks.
Well, it's gonna get dark soon.
All right, we have rewound, and oh, you know Thomas is magical. We have rewound, and it's time for Flirting with Magic. We just cleaned the VCR head, so hopefully this will be not a tracking challenge. So far, it's a tracking challenge. This music is so good, and I really need to see what what visuals are paired with it. Let's see if it picks up the signal.
Hi, I'm Michael Jeffries, and we're at the Desert Hot Spring Spa in beautiful Palm Springs. As a professional magician for the past 16 years, I've seen firsthand the powerful effect that magic can have on the
Yeah, oh man, this is disappointing. Let's see. Come on, tape.
On this video, you'll see as we took a group of non-magicians, people who have never done magic before, taught them the tricks, and then brought them to a nightclub, Zelda's Beach Club in Palm Springs, and let them loose. So let's watch now and see as they flirt with magic.
Oh my God. Huh.
Free blow. Look.
All right. Yeah. Let me try and figure this out. Because I can do some stuff to make it. I have a plan, but it will take me a little bit of concerted effort. So I need a brief distraction. Y'all like Picnic, right? I'm just going to see if I can get this YouTube video downloaded and overlaid on top of the stream so we can have them synced up, and just, if the video comes back, we'll have it. If not, we'll at least get clean audio.
Won't you come with us today? We're going on a picnic. Won't you come? come with us and play. We're going on a picnic. Picnics are a lot of fun. In the country, in the sun. Leave the city for a
You're right. I guess I can just do that. Yeah.
Have some fun the country way. A picnic on a sunny day.
All right. We'll make this work because the build up to Flirting with Magic has been too big.
Where we have our picnic.
It's too big to fail.
It's nice to kneel upon the grass, to smell and touch and feel the grass. Grass is green and green is the color. Green is the color of the trees. Green is the color of summer leaves. While Mom and Dad prepare the food, we look for things to find. The woods are filled with animals and many things to find. Caterpillars, bugs, and bees living in the forest. Perhaps we'll find a nest of eggs hidden in the forest. Find things in the forest. Animals live all around where we have our picnic. A frog can easily be found where we have our picnic. Frogs are small green animals that live around the water. Turtles like to live here too, with grass and trees and water.
Okay, that's good enough.
Turtles like the water.
Gotta figure this out.
Picnic lunch is almost done. The fire is burning brightly. Some foods cooked a crusty brown. Others we cook lightly. Fire cooks all our food, you see. Without fire, picnics could not be. It cooks because it's very hot. Hot does things that cold cannot. Fire is very, very hot. Picnic lunch is ready now. It's time to have our picnic. Eating food that's fun to eat. It's time to have our picnic. To eat can be a lot of fun, especially on a hot dog bun. Drink can be a pleasure too. Drink is something that we do when we're thirsty through and through.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. Oh right, this recording cuts out too, or does it? Oh, well, that was the end of that video file. Okay, cool. I got it set up. I guess I need a better recording of Picnic, huh? All right, it's time for Flirting with Magic. I'm gonna have to pause for a minute to sync up the audio, because the YouTube video audio is trash, and I want to have the videotape going. But I think this will be watchable. Get ready to enjoy Flirting with Magic.
Hi, I'm Michael Jeffries, and we're at the Desert Hot Spring Spa in beautiful Palm Springs. As a professional magician for the past 16 years, I've seen firsthand the powerful effect that magic can have on the opposite sex. On this video, you'll see as we took a group of non-magicians, people who have never done magic before, taught them the tricks, and then brought them to a nightclub, Zelda's Beach Club in Palm Springs, and let them loose. So let's watch now and see as they flirt with magic.
All right, if the tape comes back, we'll be able to switch to it. It's just no video signal.
Need a light?
Sure. Thanks.
You're welcome. I couldn't help but noticing those eyes, those lips, that cigarette. Sorry. Watch the cigarette. Because all I need you to do is blow on the cigarette when I count to 3. Watch. 1, 2, 3, blow. Look, gone.
Oh my God. So what else can you make disappear? Well, I'm waiting.
Jesus God, that look.
Good evening, ladies. Welcome to Zelda's.
All right, good. I think we're mostly synced.
Thank you. How you doing? Ooh, wow, check this out.
Whoa.
Watch this. I don't know, guy. It worked before.
The secret to hot match, trick number 1.
Hi. Well, here we are in beautiful, windy Palm Springs with Shirley and Lori, and we're ready to learn the first magic trick on the video, the one you saw me do in the nightclub, hot match. To do hot match, you'll need a couple of props. You'll need some matches, scissors, a safety pin, and a rubber band. Cut off the striker.
It's so you know that he's
matches, but hang on to the
successful and
matches 'cause
sexy
you'll
and
need them.
great. Because
What
he's
you'll do
surrounded
is
by
you'll take one of the
models in bathing
matches,
suits who are paid to
place
pretend
it
to like him.
inside the striker, fold the piece of striker over the match like this, take the safety pin, open it up, place it inside the striker like this underneath, and then close the safety pin. Okay? Now this brings up a good point. If I were to do it this way, I wouldn't be able to safety pin it inside the coat. So you want to make sure to turn it around and have the safety pin part up. Okay? Once you have it like that, close the safety pin, take the rubber band and wrap it around the match. And what you really have there is a portable lighter. And this of course goes inside your coat. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Meredith? Meredith is here, and as you can see, she is fully prepared.
She's wearing a coat over a bikini.
There's her match. Her striker's all set. She was in action. She would just
She
pull
needs
down
the
on
coat
match,
to demonstrate
and it would,
this,
of
but it was
course,
critically
light.
important that she
If
wear a
it didn't
bikini.
light, for some reason, Meredith here, being a Girl Scout, is fully prepared for just such an emergency. And that's always a good idea to have extras. Thank you, Meredith. And that is hot match. All right, it's time to learn trick number 2, vanishing cigarette trick. To do this trick, you'll need a pen, a safety pin,
Okay, we're
and
starting
a piece
to
of
get
elastic.
video from the
First
tape.
thing to do is cut the elastic so it's approximately 12 inches. Then the next thing is to take the safety pin, attach it to the end, and tie a knot. Take the other end of the elastic, feed it through the pen cap. Now what you'll need to do is I used an ice pick, poked a hole in the pen cap, then fed the elastic
See,
through.
look how
and
good
tied a
VHS
knot.
quality
All right,
is
You'll also notice that the pen
compared
cap
to, like,
is broken off there. The little
crappy
thing that you
YouTube
clip to your
compression.
pocket, you won't need it for this trick, okay? You also won't need the pen, so you can
People act like
place that
240p
somewhere, Shirley.
is the same
I'll
as
take the
VHS.
cigarette. Now, this gets safety pin inside your jacket. So, Laura, you've got the jacket there. Shirley. Safety pin it right if there's
That's
a little
you too.
tag with the price,
That's
not
tape.
the price.
Yeah.
The size on the back right there. That's
Thank God
safety
the
pin
tape
there.
is
Now,
behaving now.
when the cigarette vanishes, it's going to go up your sleeve and it'll end up right here, hanging from your coat. So put the coat on, but as you do so, I'm right-handed, so I'll be placing the cigarette inside the cap of the pen with my right hand. So I grab the cap with
All
my
the tapes
left
involve
hand, and I put
matches,
my
cigarettes,
coat
and
on,
coats.
feeding the pen cap into my left fist, and I hide it with my fingers. Now, you don't want to have anybody standing to your right because they'll get a glimpse of the elastic against your wrist. So kind of, if I was going to do this trick, I would do it to Lori. And what I would do is I would take the cigarette from her, as I did in the bar, place it inside my fist. Now, what she doesn't know, and I'll pull this up so you can see it, I'm really feeding the cigarette, lit end first, into the pen cap. Once that gets in, if I push just a little farther, it becomes locked in place. That's not going anywhere. That's how you want it. The lack of oxygen inside the pen cap will, of course, extinguish the lit cigarette. So, to make it vanish, what do? I release my grip on the cigarette, and of course that'll cause it to shoot up my sleeve. Except if I do it just like this, I have no cover. So there's where some flirting comes in. That's where I want to make a cute remark, ask her to gently blow on the cigarette. As I do that, I place my other hand over the cigarette for cover.
I like how this is shot like at a hotel pool and there's just random people in the
to show
background.
that nothing's there. I open my hand, the cigarette's gone, and she, of course, is amazed. And that's the vanishing cigarette trick.
Excuse me, I was wondering if you happen to have lost this pen.
No, it's not mine.
Are you sure?
But thanks.
This pen right here?
No.
Oh, this guy.
Wow. How did you do that?
What a
People usually
Casanova.
don't reveal their secrets.
Is there something I could do to make you reveal it?
Well, maybe. How about meeting me back here at 11 o'clock for a drink or so?
No. How do I know you're not some sort of a weirdo?
I'm not a weirdo.
Well, maybe.
11 o'clock, come on, right here.
How about meeting me at 11 o'clock for a drink or so?
All right.
I'm not a weirdo. All you have to do to make a woman comfortable is to tell her you're not a weirdo.
It's time to learn the secret to trick number 3, the vanishing pen trick. And that leaves off right where the vanishing cigarette trick ended.
So
In other
thankful
words, you've
that the
already
tape is
got all the
working now.
materials you need. You've got the pen, you've got the elastic, and you've got the safety pin. Now,
Hey, you believed
what
I
do
wasn't a weirdo.
This time is instead of making the pen vanish up your sleeve, it's too big, so you're
tricked
going to
you.
let it fly into your coat. Let me show you what I mean.
But I wasn't.
I'm gonna put on
it
the
didn't look
coat.
like that, I hope.
I'm going to reach back, and this is the position to start the trick. Again, if I'm going to do the trick, I can get the phone number of the lady, have her sign her name, whatever, and I'm all set. I can place it right back inside the cap, okay? And I'm ready to go. Sometimes if I'm in an office, I'll pick up a pen off a table. If I see that they have the same kind, I'll ditch my pen from here and make theirs disappear. And then later on, I'll give them mine, okay? But to do it this way,
It's a
the
great
pen
way
goes
to get
inside
better
here, and I want
pens.
to make it vanish. What I do
You
is I
start
bring
with
my
one
hands
crappy big
together,
pen, you're going to end up
release
with a
the
house.
pen, disappears. Now there's a couple of ways for misdirection. One way is you can clap your hands together to make it disappear. That's one way. Notice when I clap my hands, my elbows fly out. That opens my coat up just enough for the pen to shoot inside. Okay, once again, like that, it's gone. Okay, it happens in the blink of an eye. Okay, if the clapping's a little bit too much for you, you can just bring your hands together like that and then show it gone, just like that, okay? The important thing is to practice the trick over and over and get so confident at making the pen disappear that you can focus all your attention on the woman.
And
that's
always be wearing a coat.
vanishing pen trick.
Ripped but not torn. Always be wearing a coat and always be smoking cigarettes.
Jeez, I know. Unbelievable sometimes.
Thanks for the drink.
Oh, you're welcome.
Nice.
Do you like magic?
I don't know. Magic is sort of...
All of these men look like exactly the kind of man who would
Okay, if you want to do one, that's fine.
flirt with magic.
Okay, this is my little magic trick for you. Okay?
All right.
What we got here is a regular napkin. Here like this.
Okay.
Now, I'm no artist, but I'm going to draw a heart, okay?
Well, that's okay. I'm no artist drawing.
I know.
I won't criticize.
Okay, I'm going to put... Okay, now, you've had relationships, right? Good ones, bad ones?
Bad ones.
Yeah,
So-so. Right, yep.
Let's play this as like your heart's been torn a few times, okay?
Oh, no. Okay, I can relate to that.
Yeah, oh, jeez.
Okay.
Same with me. Now what we're going to do is going to crush this. Pretend like you just crush your heart, okay?
Okay.
Crush this thing in here. So, like this. Okay, now why don't I've got a magic pen here. Why don't I,
These guys are really bad showmen.
All right. Here it is, okay. Why don't you open it up?
It's like he's never practiced this at all. We just, this, and then say we do this.
Blow. Okay, why don't you open it up?
Okay. I gotta find some in here? A diamond? Or
We'll
something?
see,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
see.
Oh, it's not coming apart. Wait a minute.
Oh.
It's all one piece.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing. You ripped it up, and I saw you do it. Oh, that's even got the heart.
Kind of like that, huh?
That's great. Gee, I hate to say it, but I'm impressed. That's pretty
Well,
good.
you should be.
That's good. I like it.
Well, you should be. Wow, that is a wild response.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Okay.
To someone
I'll
showing
do it.
showing interest or appreciation in you.
There you go.
How about here's to us?
All right. Thanks.
I've never been a woman getting picked up in a bar by a man, but I feel like I would be running away.
Napkin trick. To do this
at that
trick, you'll
point.
need a pen, a coin, any coin will work.
All
We're
of my
using a penny
mental
here.
effort would be
Hang
devoted
on
to
that for me,
figuring
Shirley.
out how to get
And
away from that
2
dude.
napkins. Take one of the napkins, before you perform the trick and draw a heart on the center of it. Maybe you can go in the corner of the nightclub or restaurant and draw just a simple heart, just like that, no big deal. Then take the napkin.
Go off by yourself in the corner and start furtively scribbling.
Then place the napkin inside your side coat pocket.
I can't get over the blazer and short shorts.
You've got your pen, you've got your napkin, and you're all set to perform the trick. That's the setup. If you're left-handed, obviously everything would go in the left coat pocket.
This guy looks a little bit like Peter Gabriel
do the
from
trick
the 70s.
You say, "Hi, what's your name?" Lori. Hi, Lori. Nice to meet you. I'm Michael. Beautiful windy day here, isn't it? Yes, it is. It certainly is. What I'm going to do, Lori, is draw a little heart right there on the napkin like that. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a relationship where you've had your heart torn out? I mean, we've all had that happen. As I say that, I'm going to place this pen back inside my right coat pocket, and as I place it inside, I'm going to steal out the balled up napkin right here and palm it. This is called palming a napkin. Aren't magicians clever? So you've got the napkin balled up in your right fist. If you want to use cocktail napkins, those are a little smaller and those are a little easier to palm. So you've got the palm napkin here, perfectly natural misdirection to pick the pen, put it away, and palm out the napkin. They shouldn't suspect a thing. Make sure to keep your fingers closed and to keep your other hand closed in a fist too. So both hands look the same.
He's performed for so many celebrities.
I'll take the napkin.
Why
and
is
I'll
he
tear
not?
it up.
Shouldn't that make him a celebrity himself?
Tear up the napkin. Say, I'll make a little ball of the pieces. Now watch what I'm doing. I've got the good napkin at the bottom. I place the torn pieces on top. Okay, I've got the ripped ones up here, the good one at the bottom. But when I show it to Lori, she thinks this is all one napkin. Okay, because what I do is I take them out of my hand as I turn them. So the ripped pieces are in front. The good piece is behind it. Now when I place them back into my right hand after showing the napkin,
vocal presence is
I do a little turn.
a lot.
This is very important. It's
He's
a
got
little
this like
wrist turn.
monotone shouting
Is that wrist turn
thing going
puts
on.
the good napkin on top. Okay, let me show you again. You've got the torn pieces here. I bring it out. I show one
He has
napkin.
real like
As I go to place
John
it back
Madden
in the
vocal
hand,
energy,
I've done the turn.
which is an odd fit
And
for
now I've
stage
got good
magic.
pieces there. You turn to the person and you say, hold out your hand, please, and hang on to the pieces. Notice I say pieces, so again, implies that you're handing them the napkin is torn up. Now, when you pull it out, be careful that pieces don't stick out. That's why it's important that when you make them into a ball, you keep everything real tight and push it into your hand. So now when I pull out that good piece, I can do it with confidence because I know the rib pieces are nice and tight into a ball down here. So I say, hold out your hand for me, if you would, Lori, and hang on to the pieces. And I have in my pocket a lucky coin. And as I say that, I reach into my pocket, I drop off the rib pieces, and I take out the coin.
Hello, have you ever had your heart broken? Do you like napkins?
Ever blow?
Touch
This
this.
has nothing to do with the trick, but it feels
Do
incredible.
you like me yet?
And open up your hand, Lori, and open the napkin. And she does so, and of course the napkin is fully restored.
Meet me here at 11.
Ripped but not torn, or the torn and restored napkin trick.
Come back here in several hours.
Remember, while you're performing, to stay totally focused on the trick.
Oh God, why is he shirtless now? Put a blazer on him.
Totally focused.
Jesus Lord. Oh boy, salt-free.
You look like you're having fun. Why don't you let me show you a trick I just learned?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna use this penny from the waitress's tip.
Okay.
Sure she won't miss it. I'm gonna cover it with this salt shaker.
Okay.
You can't see that, can
No,
you?
no.
Well, I'm gonna cover it with my napkin.
Wait, there's only 2 coins on the table. Are they tipping her 6 cents?
It would be a neat trick if when I moved the shaker, the penny was gone.
You would.
Think
you
so?
Would. You would.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, God. Why not just make the shaker disappear instead?
Oh my God. How'd you do that? How'd you do that?
Now, you know us women, we never tell our secrets.
Never.
Well, maybe you can get it out of me.
So step 1 is you You get the person to ask, how did you do that magic
salt
trick?
shaker trick, or as we like to call it,
And then you respond by insinuating that they can have sex with you.
You'll need the salt shaker, which you can find luckily at most restaurants, so they already have that there, a napkin, and the big bucks.
It's a flawless leap of
To do
logic.
this trick, you want to have the people you're doing it for believe that the penny is going to disappear. That's the whole premise of the trick. All their attention is on the coin. So when the shaker does go, they should have no idea that it's going to vanish. Okay, would you hold my shaker? Take the napkin, open it up, have them focus on the penny. Say, keep your eye on the penny. I'm going to cover it up with the shaker. And to protect my secret, that's the excuse you give for wrapping the salt shaker with the napkin. Now see, if I wrap it up once, they might be able to see when the shaker vanishes that it's not there. So what you want to do is double the napkin. So it's nice and thick, and it'll retain the shape of the salt shaker when it vanishes. Because how is it going to vanish? When you tell them to keep their eye on the penny, it'll disappear. You go 1, 2, 3. As I say 3, I snap my fingers, I come back to the edge of the table. All my attention's focused here. I'll bring it up so you can see it. I'm going to release the salt shaker so it falls into my lap. Of course, when I do the actual trick, I will do it at table level. So in other words, they never see the shaker drop. There it just went, and now it's gone. But again, notice how the napkin retains the shape of the shaker. So it's done like this, regular speed. Keep your eye on the penny. When I lift up the salt shaker, the penny will be gone. 1, 2, 3. Look, the penny's completely vanished. Ah, it didn't work. Well, let me try it again. In fact, this time, what if I make the salt shaker disappear? Show it completely gone, pause a second, then you can reach underneath and take it out if you want. Or some people like to leave it there. I would suggest
Keister the
taking it
salt
out,
shaker
because
so they'll
eventually
never
you're gonna
know
need
your
to produce
secret.
it anyway, don't leave it in your lap. And that is the vanishing salt shaker trick.
I was just wondering if you believe that the hand is faster than the eye.
I don't know. Why do you ask?
Well, I just want to show you a trick.
What kind of trick?
Well, like a magic trick. You got a $100 bill on you? Well, maybe a 5 or a 1. Okay.
I don't know. Let me look. I think
This
I've got
guy is like 23, but he's dressing like
Yeah, I
Richard
do.
Feynman.
Okay.
Goodbye 5, right? You make this disappear?
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. What do you got? 5?
Yeah.
And my 1. Do me a favor. Just fold this in half for me, okay? So that the
All
president
right.
stays out.
Okay.
Fold it in half one more time. Great. And fold it down so that the big 5 faces my big 1 right there.
Okay.
All right. Great. Now, what I want you to do is hand that to me, okay? Right there.
Goodbye
okay.
$5.
Well, maybe. We'll
Okay.
see. Okay. Now, open your hand for me, okay? I'm going to place those right inside there.
I would be very
Right
impressed
on top of my 1.
if you did this for
close
me,
that.
Haley, but only you.
This is where the magic takes place.
Okay, I'm ready.
How much do you have in there?
In my hand?
In your hand.
$6.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to reach in there and take out...
I can't look, right?
What am I going to get? How about the 5?
Okay.
Okay, there's the 5.
Okay.
Now, this is where the magic takes place again. I want you to blow on this really quick. Great.
God, I don't believe it. That's great. You turned the 5 into the 1.
Yeah.
That's
Well, what do you
great.
got in your hand now?
I don't know. Oh, I've got the 5.
That's right.
God, that's great. I mean, how could you get it into my palm?
It's magic.
These are basically,
That's great. What was your name?
My name's Larry.
these seem like super amateurish magic tricks. They're on the same level as like your uncle pulling a quarter out of your ear,
You got the 5. I only have a 1.
which
Okay, I'll split it with you.
probably is not not the horniest thing for most people.
The next trick is called Gimme 5. And this is a great trick to do because you get to touch the girl's hand.
Ah!
Now, what you do is you have some bills, some tape.
Don't say that part out loud, you weirdo.
The bills you will need are 2 5s and a 1 to prepare the trick. Take one of the $5 bills and cut out the small 5 corner, the little circle right there. Cut that out.
Are we marring
And what you're gonna
U.S.
do is you're gonna
currency
take
now?
A piece of the Scotch tape,
My
fold
God.
it into a teeny little square so that when you're
It's a
done,
fucking arts and crafts project.
you can
now.
tape that little round 5 onto the corner, the bottom left-hand corner of the $1 bill, creating a
Not
gimmick
even for that.
bill.
It's for a
What's
hand
neat about this
touch.
trick is you can just carry it around in your wallet. It's all you need is this $1 bill with the corner of the 5, and you're all set anytime, anywhere to do. Give me 5.
Don't touch me.
So to do the trick, you have the 1, and you can borrow the 5.
That's
a
how
nice thing to
appropriate.
do.
Thank you,
if I was
Jess.
here doing it with Lori, what we would do is I would have her take out her $5 bill, and you happen to have one there, Lori, and I'd say do exactly as I do. Notice I'm keeping my fingers over the little corner, hiding the little 5, we'll call it spot, right there. Do exactly as I do. Hold it like this and fold the bill in half, like that, but fold it so the other side's out. You want to make sure that when you're done folding it, the little indice on the corner shows. So in other words, if they don't do it right, like right now I didn't explain it to her properly, I'll take the bill from her and I'll show her what I want to do. Just go with it. One of the things you have to remember about magic is you're in control. They don't know what you're going to do, so you take charge. Okay, you're confident, you're up, you're positive about what you're doing. Everything's going to work out just fine.
You're up.
So you take the bill from her, you've got the real 5 here, you've got the 1 with the fake 5, and you say, hold out your hand for me, if you would, and say, look, I'll place both bills in your hand. You place the real 5 on top of the gimmicked 1 with the 5 spot on the back. Both bills go in her hand. Now when she closes her hand, what's going to happen is that turns the bills over, and now the 5 spot is on top. Okay, so once again, you place it up near the front of her hand, have her close her hand, that revolves the bills over, and now the gimmick 5 is on top, but she doesn't know that. So to distract her in case she noticed which order the bills went in, if maybe she noticed the 5 wasn't on top and it shouldn't, you distract them by asking them a question, a simple question. For instance, how many bills, total money amount, would you say you have in your hand at this point? $6. That's exactly what I would have said, Lori. Now, I'm going to reach inside and remove one of the bills. What she doesn't know is I'm going to reach inside and remove the top bill, but I don't want her to see me pull it out because she may get a glimpse of the bottom bill, the 5. So what I do is I
This
cover
is so complicated
hands,
and
well,
not
my
sexy
hand
at all.
Covers her hand like that for cover. I reach inside, pull out the top bill, the fake 5, and then turn her
I
hand
can't
over
imagine
so she can't open it up.
being
I
able to
say, if I have
extract
the 5,
any,
which this looks like a $5 bill,
even
what
the
does that leave
tiniest
you
ounce
with?
of charisma out of this
The
sort of
dollar,
exchange.
Exactly. You're doing so good. Now, you want to ask them
Make
because
sure
you
you
don't want them to
patronize
forget.
them
If you rush through
while
this
you're
trick,
touching
they
their
may
hand.
forget that you took the 5, and at the end they'll say, well, so what? I knew that I had the 5 all along. To prevent that, say, if I have the 5, you must have the 1. Great. Now blow on the 5. As she blows, I'm going to turn the bill over, revealing the 1. But if I do that, it's obvious how it's done. So I go underneath her chin. As I say blow on the 5, she blows. As I am underneath her chin, as all I do is with my fingertips turn the piece over, it comes out and it's a 1. It's a very visual thing. There's the 5, she blows. My fingertips just slightly turn. It's not even really my palm. It's just a little move like that in the blow. And I come back, there's a 1. They'll be amazed. When you open up the bill, say, look, I've got the 1 now, and I keep my thumb over the corner. You should have the 5. Look inside. There's the 5. You act impressed too. You enjoy it. Say, open it up. And now that we have a little bit of money, what do you say I buy you a drink? Okay. She says, okay. And that is how you do Gimme 5. One of the great things about learning magic is that no matter what happens, you're always in control. Now you see, normally that would be a problem, but not if you know magic.
I can't believe the one.
Oh, these
you saw her too?
Yeah. She dances like
I'm
an
digging
idiot.
these fashions.
Hey, why don't you pay attention to me?
The alternating pink and blue wall with hubcaps.
Just kind of milk. I was hoping maybe you'd buy me a drink.
Giant hair.
But look at her. I mean, I can't believe this.
Oh,
Dance.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Make you a deal.
All right.
If I'm going to show you a magic trick, you like magic, right? Okay, if I show
Yeah,
you,
I do, yeah.
If I show you a good magic trick, and you really like it, then will you buy me a drink?
If it's good, yeah.
Okay,
I will.
okay. All you
Yeah.
need is a book of matches.
How about these over here?
Well, okay, those will do. Sure. Okay, now I'm going to need your assistance in this, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
What I need for you to do is to help me select a match from the center would be great. Just point at me.
Right here?
This one? Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, now as I'm lighting this, I need to put this book into your hand, so... No, the other hand, because it's better that way. Okay?
What do you...
No, I'm not going to burn
Oh, I
it.
thought you were
Just
gonna burn
hold
it.
it very tightly,
All right,
okay?
okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, now, I want you to help me put magic into it. I'm going to blow it together on my hands.
All right, what?
Now turn your hand over and look inside the book.
Oh my God! How'd you get the burnt match back in here? I can't. I can't
You
believe
like it,
this.
don't you? You like the trick.
How did you do that?
Did you like it?
Yes.
You owe me a drink.
Okay, I owe you a drink. Jeez, I can't believe. Waitress.
All right, nice work on the nails.
That is some really good music.
Yeah. Okay, the next trick is called the elusive match. And to do this trick, you'll need a book of matches, and that's all. The setup requires you to take the center match and light it on fire and blow it out, but don't tear it out of the book. To do this, take the center match from the book, bend it up, take a match from the back of the book, tear it out, light it, and then light the one in the center, if you would. Blow both matches out, get rid of one of the match so you have the one burnt in the center of the book. That's your whole setup. Close the matchbook and you're all ready to perform. Turn to the person you're going to do it for. Hi, babe. How are you? Good to see you. You look great. Can I ask you to hold out your hand and help me with the trick? Okay. Great. Now, I'm going to have her select a match, but I don't want her to see the burnt one. If I just open it up and say select a match, reach out and touch one, she'll see the burnt match here. So as I open up the book, my thumb is going to lever down that burnt match, and I'm going to conceal the burnt match underneath my thumb. So from her point of view, she cannot see the burnt match. Okay, it's a simple action. As you go to open up the book, the thumb pulls down and hides the match. So go ahead and with your hand, if you would, Lori, touch a match near the center. You want to have them touch a match near the center because at the end, when the burnt match reappears magically inside the book of matches, it's near the center as well, and it makes sense. It's congruent. So she touches a match here. I pull it out, ask her to hold out her hand for me. As I close the matchbook, I lever the burnt match back into the book with my my middle finger goes up, in place, and closes
she
the
had
book.
to stage
She
the
shouldn't suspect anything.
trick
She's not
matchbook
suspecting anything. You're just taking a match out that she touched and closing the book. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Just place it in her hand. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to light this match, and as she closes her hand, you're going to let this match go over your shoulder. So, the way you do it is strike the match, say close your hand like that, and on about the third one, I just let the match
I can't
go
remember
over
the
my
last time
shoulder.
I went to
All
a
your
bar that had
attention is here.
matches.
So, you're looking here, her eyes are here, you're touching her hand, even
It's
squeezing a little bit. She sees you shake the
8 years
match
ago.
out. No reason for her to look here. If your attention's there, they'll look there. Let the match go over your shoulder. Be careful it doesn't go on the guy next to you. Okay, then pretend, come down, say, watch, I'll place the match here, blow, gone. It's all one action. Here, the match is there. She believes the match is there. If you believe it's there.
Throw a recently lit match
Open your hand,
into the
look
middle
inside
of
the book of
a
matches.
bar. Yeah.
She opens it up and is floored, stunned, blown away to find that the burnt match is not only back in the book of matches, but it's securely fastened in place. And if you can just take and put your phone number on there, I'll call you. Thanks so much, and that's how you do the elusive match.
Ooh, initial impression. I think this is trick 8 of 10.
Gosh, it's been half an hour at least.
Well, I hope I don't have to wait that long. What do you do?
I work in an office. I'm a secretary. What about you?
I sell life insurance. Well, that's not so funny. People need life insurance.
I guess.
I'll tell you what. You never know when you're going to need some. I'll give you my business card.
Okay.
You know, a friend of mine told me that magic drives women crazy.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you put your initials on my business card?
Just anywhere?
Sure. All right. And I'm going to take the business card, and I'll put my initials on it.
Well, go ahead.
It's there. Take a look.
This man is like 40 years older than her, too.
I told you it's magic.
No kidding.
I'll tell you what. We'll do it one more time. Except, you know, I don't know your first name, so why don't you write your first name on my business card? Janice. Hi, Janice.
Hi.
I'm Barry.
Hi, Barry.
But you'll know that in a minute because...
Barry. I'm Barry.
I'm
Divorced,
gonna write my
45.
first name on the card.
Oh, come on.
You couldn't do it twice. How did you do that? Right in front of me.
That's easy. But you know, as long as you have two cards and you only need one, why don't you put your phone number on one of them for me?
Clever.
These are Barry's cards. Morning, Dan. We are flirting with magic.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you.
I guess magic does drive women crazy.
Sometimes.
Oh, the chemistry.
It's time to learn initial impressions. To do this trick, you'll need a pair of scissors, a thick rubber band, a stack of your all-important business cards, and a pen. First thing you need to do is take the pen and write your initials in the upper left-hand portion of your business card. So I've written MJ in the top left-hand portion of the business card. If you'd place your finger right there for me, Lori, so that doesn't blow away. And take another business card, and in the top left-hand portion, write your first name. Okay, so there I've written Michael. You have another finger there I can borrow? Great. Now, you're not done quite with your setup. You still need to do one more thing. You need to take the scissors, take one more business card.
He's just treating her as a human paperweight.
Okay? You only need one half. You need the left half. So you don't need the right half anymore. So, another finger. Now, take first the one with your name on it, place it on top of the stack, then take the one with your initials on it, that goes on top of that card, and then the half card goes on top of the whole stack. And by taking the rubber band and placing it in just the portion where the half card comes in contact with the second card, you're hiding the fact that there's really a half card on top of the deck. So, if I get it just lined up just right, it should look like one business card. Okay, and you want to make those kind of smooth. Okay, now if no one's really suspecting anything, it should look like I've got one card there. Now, you're all set to do the trick. Get your pen, your business cards, place them in your pocket. You're all ready to begin. So if I was going to do the trick, I'll do it on both of you. Start off by saying, hi, we've never met before, have we? No. What I'd like you to do is to take your initials for me and place them right
That's
there
a great
for
pickup
me,
line. We've never met before, have we?
Go ahead and sign up. You want to hold the pack for them because if they take it, she might pull on the card and that half card may come loose. So I
And
like
then you'll have to
hold
grab
it
a smoke
steady
bomb
for
out
them,
of your
keeping my
pocket,
thumb
throw it on the
top
ground,
of
and
it,
run
just
away.
spreading the whole pack. So she signed her initials there, and what I'm going to do now is place the card face down onto the table. What she doesn't know is that my initials are also on the card that she just signed, but she can't see that because the half card is covering my initials. So what I do is I grab the corner of the card, pull it out, face down. Okay, come over to the table, face down, and watch what happens. As it comes out face down, my initials are now on that card. I set it down. Would you place your hand on top of it for me? Now I say to her, I'll sign my initials on that card, but I'll do it by magic. And I just go like that with the pen, or you can just snap your fingers, or you can just say, look, I've got my initials on the card too. Take a look. She turns the card over, and there, next to her initials, are my initials. And that's initial impression. If you want to repeat the trick, which is kind of neat because then you can give them one card and have them place their phone number on the back of your other card, do it again. So I turn to Lori, say, Lori, I've got a stack of my business cards here.
Yeah, I just got it too.
Just write your first
Initial
name right there for me. Right there, I'll hold the cards for you. Great, she writes her first name there. Okay. Great. I do the same thing. I say, look, we'll place your signed card, it's the only thing on the card, face down on the table like that. So all I do is take the pen, magically write my name on there. Did you see it happen? Did you see the magic? Take a look, it's really there. She turns it over, and magically, there's my name on the same card next to her. In fact, Lori, after we're done here, I think you should put your phone number right there. Go ahead. It's called initial impressions.
Lori definitely wants to do that.
You know, Larry, I always wondered what it is that makes two people so compatible with each other. I mean, could it be like the look in somebody's eye, or maybe like the way their hand feels in yours? I bet we could be compatible. What do you think? So? I really do.
We could give it a try sometime.
As a matter of fact, I have something I'd like to show you. Would you like to see it? Okay.
You can just, that's flirting. You've already done the flirting.
In no particular order.
You don't have to pull out coins.
In my hand, I have a special prediction. Okay? Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd just like you to touch
This
two
isn't flirting with magic. This is flirting and then magic.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to get rid of these, and we're going to keep these two. Now, I'd like you to pick up both of those coins in your hands, one in each hand.
Like this?
Yeah. And I want you to just kind of feel them in your hands. You know, close your palms. Just feel them.
Right.
Now, one of them is going to feel a little bit more special than the other. Okay? Now, what I want you to do for me is just open one of your hands.
Anyone.
Just any hand. Okay, we're going to get rid of this coin. Close your hand. Now, what you have left is the last coin, which means it's obviously the most special one. Now, on the count of 3, like a butterfly, we're going to open our hands together, okay?
All right.
1, 2, 3. I think we're compatible.
Whoa! How did you do that? You have the dime and I have the dime too.
That's right. You know what that means? I really do.
Compatible.
Absolutely.
God, have another drink.
Okay.
All right.
The next trick is called quick change. And to do this trick, Shirley, I'd like to use you, if you would. To begin the trick, however, let me point out you need 5 coins, 4 of which you're going to show them, 1 of which you're not. So before I do the trick to Shirley, I'm going to hide one of the coins in my hand, in this case a dime. She knows I have something in my hand, but I won't tell her what coin it is. So to get into the trick, I'll say to her, Shirley, look, I've got 4 coins here, penny, dime, quarter, and a nickel. And in this hand, I have a surprise. But I'm not quite ready to let you see my surprise just
He really does. It's serious.
Promises.
Uncle pulling a quarter
what
out
I'd like
from your
you to do
energy.
for me is to reach out and touch 2 of the coins. We're going to eliminate some coins. So touch 2 and we're going to keep some. So touch 2 of the coins, any 2 you want. Okay. Okay, the nickel and the penny. Fine, we'll eliminate those. No problem. There's 2 coins left, a quarter and a dime. Do me a favor, reach out, pick one up in each hand for me. Pick up a coin in each hand. Okay, and hold them in your hand. One will feel special. Okay, now, we've eliminated 2 of the coins, okay? We eliminated the dime, we eliminated the nickel and the penny. She's got the dime. That's the coin she's going to end up with, whether she knows it or not, whether she likes it or not, pretty much. If she had touched the other 2, let's go back for a second, go ahead and put these down. If she had touched the dime and the quarter, what would I have done? I would have very matter-of-factly said, reach out, touch 2 coins, touch the dime coin. Fine. Those are the 2 you want to work with. Pick one up in each hand. We'll eliminate the nickel and the penny. So what you're doing is you're going to eliminate the coins that don't involve the dime, okay? It's elimination. So pick up those 2 coins, fine. Get those out of there. Got those 2. Feel them. One will feel special. You know which one it is. Open your hand. Open one of your hands for me. Okay, she opened the quarter. I say, fine, you're left holding 1 coin. Okay, I know she's got the dime in there, so I say that's the special one because you held on to it. You're holding a coin, I'm holding a coin. Open your hand, let's see if we're compatible. We are a perfect match. Now notice how I acted like that's what I wanted. That's the special hand because it's tight. Okay, all my attention. There can be no hesitation, no fumbling. If she even suspects that I would have gone the other way or I had some other outs in mind, the trick is ruined and you have no magic. And you like magic. So, let's do it one more time with a different out. Let's say she had done the opposite. Now you got the dime and the quarter in each hand. I say, open your hand. One will feel special. Open your hand. Now she opens the hand with the dime. Great, that coin felt special. You could have, opened it. That's the one you open. I completely forget about the other hand. She opens that hand. I say, great. Look, we match. Ah! Right? There it is. And that's how you do quick change. Remember to read your Flirting with Magic book. It's hot.
Is there a book?
Hi. My name is Ken. God, you're beautiful.
Hi, Ken.
Do you believe in magic?
Yeah? Why, do you know some magic?
Yes, I do.
Ken, she was feeling it already. You don't need the magic.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me see your hands. Go like this. Okay. Bring it closer. Okay. Like that. Okay, I want you to make a fist. Like that. All right, now this is... I'm going to take some ash from this ashtray.
Ooh.
No worry.
Do it.
Don't
Do a
worry.
magic trick.
I'm going to take it and rub it in the back of your hand like this. Look at that. Doesn't it feel good?
Yeah.
Do you feel the magic? Look at that.
It's like a mini massage.
It does? Yeah, it's great, doesn't it? I give great massages.
Do you?
I really do. Yes, I do. Look at this. Look at the magic. Look at the magic. Okay, I want you to open your hands.
Oh.
Is that great?
How do you do that?
The magic went through your hand.
You got it to go through.
Yeah, look at that. Well, can I get your phone number? And we can create some more magic later. Would you like that? Come on.
Yeah, I think
Yeah?
so.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that great?
This trick is called Mystic Ashes. It's one of my favorite because all the work is done ahead of time. Let me show you what I mean. If I was going to go up to Lori in a bar and do Mystic Ashes, what I would have to do is ahead of time go by an ashtray and pick up a little bit of ash, touch it on my middle finger just like that, and I'm all set to do Mystic Ashes. That's the only setup. That's the beauty of this trick. You don't have to carry anything with you. Just dip a little bit of the ash on your finger. Load up heavy though, okay? So I've got a lot of ash there. I would go up to Laura and say, hi, how are you? Good. Let me show you something. If you would, hold out both your hands, palm down for me. Palm down, just a little bit like this. Now, when I come over to Lori, she doesn't know I've just loaded her up with Mystic Ashes, all right, cigarette ashes, because when I touched her palm, I got a nice
You've got to load her up with Mystic Ashes.
on her palm. She never felt a thing. Did you ever feel a thing? No. Not a thing. That's why magicians never get second dates. No, okay, stop it. Okay, squeeze tight, 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 tight. Now, she doesn't know about the ashes there. I say squeeze tight, tight, tight.
The most suggestive thing we've had in this tape.
I reach over, get a little ashes on there, and I rub it on her hand. Now that, you don't want too much because you want it to disappear. That's a little bit heavy, so I'm gonna knock, if I see that, I'll say that's a little bit too much. Just a teeny bit, and I'll put some on her hand. You may not be able to see it, there's just a little bit of ash on her hand, because the reason I don't want too much is I want it to disappear. So I say, watch the ashes, Lori, as it disappears, okay? I'm just gonna rub it, and rub it.
These really do all
Okay.
depend on
Sorry about
smoking.
that. And look, the ashes is gone. It's completely disappeared. Do you know where the ashes went? And of course she
Not
doesn't.
only do you
She'd
need
have
an
no
ashtray,
idea, of course, unless she bought the video.
you need an
Look
ashtray
inside your hand.
with ashes in it,
Look, there
and
on her
two of
palm
them.
are the ashes. Believe me, when you've had this trick done to you and you don't know the secret, it is a mind blower. And that is how you do Mystic Ashes. You'll find it easy to meet people now that you know a little magic. You've seen all 10 tricks explained and used in flirting situations. Now I recommend going back and practicing along with the tape. Key in on 3 or 4 specific tricks you liked best. Your confidence will build as you see others respond. You'll find when you have a little magic, the flirting comes easy. The greatest thing I can teach you is to go out and have fun. Just do it. Be yourself and use the exciting magic you learned in this course. If you're looking to turn your social life around, no matter who you are, all you need is a little magic.
Best way to quit, one at a time. Thank you.
Magic conceit. Michael Jeffries conceived all of this magic. Barry was the producer. Yeah, that was something. I'm glad we get this track in the credits, though. I gotta go to Zelda's in Palm Springs. Oh, it's permanently closed as of 2019. Palm Springs Council revoked their permit after it failed to remain in compliance with its security plan. Palm Springs police officials said that during the prior 2 years, the club's security cameras weren't working when several violent crimes, including a fatal shooting, occurred in the parking lot. Yeah, too many magicians. Boy. Yeah, I'm glad the tape started cooperating. And I'm glad we powered through the beginning with the help of that YouTube upload. Thank you again to West Coast Deb. These have actually all been Deb's tapes today. Because I've been scanning them and because they happen to be the good tapes that were around me. We'll get to, I'm going to finish processing the pile of tapes I have on the floor, get those on the website for you. And then in future streams, when we have some downtime, I'll be able to start scanning some of the many other tapes from these other submissions. We had a couple of clips to close us out here. Don't Touch Me, I think, is the perfect palate cleanser. And then there's also Dan. I don't actually know where Dan is. Did I delete Dan? Surely I didn't delete Dan. We'll figure it out. Alright, here we go. Thank you to Jess for the Don't Touch Me request. Oh, that's right.
You have the power to make me feel. Your microchips can make it real. Electric feelings burn so much. A simulated sense of touch. Don't touch me with your love.
I love how overt
Don't touch me with your love.
he was. This one's great because you get to touch her hand.
Ecstasy drives me insane, collapsing in exquisite pain. The vibrant dreams of nature's way lie smoldering in ashen gray. Don't touch me with your love. Don't touch me with your love. Don't touch me with your love. Don't touch me with your love.
Really roll those shoulders, folks. Loosen them up. Dislocate them.
Don't make me feel if you can't cry. Guy is dying, can't you see? While you're wasting time on me. Don't touch me with your love. Don't touch me with your love. Don't touch me with your love.
that's right.
Zelda from the very start. I got the heart and smarts to play the part. Down with Zelda.
This was a brief interlude while I looked for the game clip,
Cause a man's
but I
gotta
found
do what a man's gotta do, so I stay on track, collect the facts, never cut slack, and I always watch my back for jacks. Down with Zelda, yeah. Don't understand I'm the man with the plan, cause the power's in my head and the power's in my hand. Down with
it. It was on some tape of TV footage that we ran across at some point. All right, count the Dans. Are you ready to play a fun game?
This video program presents some information found in DAN's First Aid for Hazardous Marine Life Injuries training program. Ask your DAN instructor or DAN retail store sponsor about these and other training opportunities. DAN carries a wide variety of first aid kits to meet the various needs of divers worldwide. Ask your instructor or call DAN for information on the best first aid kit for the areas that you dive. If you're interested in learning more and becoming trained to provide these first aid techniques, contact Dan or your local Dan retail store sponsor to sign up for Dan's First Aid for Hazardous Marine Life Injuries course.
Thank you, Cheese Hammer, for
In the
gifting us up
unlikely
to
event
Dan.
that you have to handle a diving emergency, contact Dan through the Dan Emergency Hotline. Founded in 1980, Dan is an international nonprofit DAN. With its international headquarters located in the United States at Duke University Medical Center in Durham, North Carolina, Dan also has affiliates in Southeast Asia Pacific, Japan, Southern Africa, and Europe that can assist you in the unlikely event of a scuba diving accident or injury. If you suspect you've been injured while scuba diving, you can call a Dan Diving Emergency Hotline. Dan provides this service to the diving community 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to assist and arrange for evaluation and treatment of injured divers. Whenever you need help, Dan is there for you. Dan works to prevent diving injuries and accidents. If you have a question concerning diving medicine, dive safety, fitness for diving, or for a referral to a physician knowledgeable in diving medicine, you can call Dan's Diving Medical and Safety Information Line. Dan also conducts research into why divers get hurt, looking into how flying after diving and various environmental and physiological conditions may affect diving safety. Another way Dan improves dive safety is through training and education. Dan has developed an oxygen first aid program and related oxygen delivery equipment to promote the benefits of emergency oxygen first aid for injured divers. Dan also offers training programs for physicians and emergency medical services personnel. Dan wants to ensure that oxygen and someone trained in its use is available at every dive site and on every dive boat. Dan provides these valuable services to the entire dive community because of the support of the world's largest association of recreational divers, the Dan membership. For a small annual fee, Dan members receive many valuable benefits, including Alert Diver, diving's leading safety magazine, Dan Travel Assist, access to potential evacuation in a medical emergency when you travel, and the opportunity to purchase the most affordable and comprehensive Dan available. Ask your Dan instructor or retail store sponsor how to get involved today. Dan is your Dan Safety Association.
So many Dans. That's a lot of Dan. Oh, yeah. And with that familiar tune and that familiar Dan, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the tapes, and I hope you enjoyed catching a glimpse of the stuff I was scanning to see what's going to be up on the website shortly. I'll see you back here, well, I reckon on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for more tapes. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks. Take it easy. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you later.